Wow, what a game. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, Yogi.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We should have won this game.
Yeah, just like last week. But hey, we'll talk about it in about 30
I know
seconds.
you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you, I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you, you better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. 'Cause all the girls you better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game.
Speaking of bringing your A game,
We did not bring it at all.
you cannot win a game giving up almost 300 yards rushing and 4 turnovers. You just can't.
No, no. Our run
I,
defense is trash.
I don't even think it's worthy of calling it trash. I think trash is too good of a word. I mean, that's just it's just yeah. I don't know how. I mean, I already see people blaming Kirk Cousins. I don't know how the hell you can blame Kirk Cousins. He was on his third left tackle. So I mean, I see that. Oh, garbage time, Kirk. There really was no garbage time in this game.
Right.
You know, uh, yeah. If the Vikings, even if the Vikings had one less turnover, and they still would have won this game if they would have been able to stop the run. I don't know what the fix is. They don't have the talent. They just don't have the talent to stop the run.
No.
So, I mean, we had all these signings that were supposedly supposed to come in and stop the run, but that's the biggest issue right now. I don't see the offense needs to stop turning the ball over. Um, I think if they, we're going to hear the same thing for the press conference. So, he's going to say the same thing he said last week. We beat ourselves. We can't turn the ball over. So I think that's twice, 2 weeks. You have a turnover on the goal line.
Yeah.
I mean, KJ, I'm done with. By the way, speaking of, I'm done with KJ.
He dropped so many passes. I mean, he got that touchdown, but he was wide open. He
Well,
better.
I mean, kids in Pee Wee aren't even that wide open. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know how. I don't even know where to start. Let's see. Let's start with. Let's start with the positives because there's enough negative to talk about. So let's start with the positives. So they didn't quit. This team would have folded with Zimmer as head coach. They would have folded. They kept fighting. JJ, he kept fighting.
Yes.
So instead of look at Kirk through that pass in the tight window to JJ. I mean, he needs to do that more often.
I'm telling you, they need to make more play designs with Addison and JJ because Addison gets that separation. I mean, we need more play calling like that.
Because I think JA should be number 2 going forward.
Yes.
I mean, we don't. I mean, unfortunately, we don't. Unfortunately, we still need KJ because I don't think Naylor's ready to be the 3. But hopefully, by the end of the season, Naylor is ready to be the 3. But as of right now, he's not. So, yeah, Cousins played well tonight. Third. How about Quisenberry? Shout out to Quisenberry.
Yeah.
I mean, Udo, I don't know. That looked bad for Udo.
Udo's out. Darisal's out.
Yeah, Bradbury was out. I mean,
Do they call Dalton Reisner now?
I don't think so.
Give that man his money.
I mean,
give him whatever. Give him whatever he wants.
why did they? I know they had to clear money for the signings that they already made, so that's kind of why they did the O'Neal restructure. But they have like $11 million now.
Yeah.
Reiser's not going to take $11 million, and if he does, I don't want him for that much. But a good 4.5 to 5 million. Why not? Can't be worse. Now, especially now that Udo's probably, who knows how long he's going to be out. That, I mean, when you get carted off like that, that's not like a 1 or 2 week injury.
Right.
Our running game
is non-existent.
Non-existent. The Madison, man. I kept saying all last week, we don't need Dalvin Cook. We don't need Dalvin Cook. I mean, I don't think Dalvin Cook would have been better, but I mean, you can't. Those fumbles killed us, man. I'm not gonna. JJ's fumble. He was reaching for the end zone, so I'm not gonna knock him. I'm not gonna knock him too hard on that. He was trying to make a play, trying to score, but the NFL needs to change that rule. They were talking about making that rule to where if it fumbles out of bounds like that, the offense still has the ball. They just got to move it back.
Right.
Because it's kind of like if you fumble the ball out of bounds, you don't lose possession. You don't lose possession of the ball. But in the end zone, for some reason, if you fumble out of the end zone, you lose possession. So they need to change. They need to change that rule. Move them back 10 yards, move back 15 yards. So I don't know. See if Tony's getting home. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about the positive? What was your biggest positive from today?
Biggest positive is Addison. Another positive, besides our run defense, our defense was holding its ground for the most part, but our offense kept putting them in situations to where what can you do?
The biggest thing to me was right before the third quarter. They just let them drive down the field. Like they didn't they just let them. I mean, what other team? Let the other team just run down the field like that before the second half. And I was like, it's a 61-yard field goal, but do the Vikings have had a history of other kickers making that type of kick against us?
Right.
So, I mean, if we don't make that kick, but teams make it against us. So, yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about this comment, Yogi?
I agree with D Woods. I was on that fence last week. I don't know. So I think people have figured out KOC's style, which is he doesn't have one. One or two good plays, but other than that, he's predictable, and our offense gets stalled out.
Yeah, he was supposed to be some kind of offensive genius. So,
but he'd even call the plays with the Rams.
Well, no one's going to call the plays with the Rams, except for McVay. But I don't know what the but just like 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. I guess you could say I kind of, with the football gods kind of balancing themselves out, last year we got all those breaks and everything. So
Well,
also,
I had us going 10-7 this season, so we can only lose 5 more games.
yeah. Here's a link if any of y'all want to join the party. Yeah. I don't. So next week's game is definitely going to be a shootout. I'm not the Chargers. The Chargers defense is almost as bad as ours.
Right.
So I think next week's going to be a shootout. I think we've already met our quota for turnovers in the season. So that's 7 in 2 weeks. I mean, there's teams that don't go all year without 7.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating because they look bad at times, but they look good at times too.
Hey, D Woods, if you're in the building, click on the link. My phone's about to die and I'm at work. If you want to jump on. Just mark what they are and just put them on the deck.
Yeah. Well,
18 games.
Yeah, what's he mean by 18 games or 17 games in the season?
Oh. TB said, send them the link on Twitter real quick.
You probably have that set up, right?
Hold on. Yes.
There he is.
There he goes.
There's the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, I'm a little ticked.
Oh wait.
Good one. Oh, good one, Yogi. Get rid of me.
What happened? What are you doing, Yogi?
Oh. He in?
Hold on. He's in.
Don't do anything. Don't touch anything.
All right. All right, you guys take it away. I'm about to take off. My phone's about to die.
All right, man.
All right, Yogi.
Oh, man.
Oh, what did we watch tonight? As
a former, as we talked earlier, I did play offensive tackle, but I switched to defensive tackle, towards the end. As a nose tackle, there is no excuse to go offsides.
No.
I know that wasn't a crucial play in the game, but it's just one of the many mistakes that they had. But it is. This is the truest, as Mr. Anthony Webb says.
Yeah, we couldn't stop the run tonight. And that's probably going to be the answer. That's probably going to be the thing all season. We don't have the horses. We really don't have the horses. We've got a bunch of 4-3 guys that are playing a 3-4 defense that they look out of place. They do. And whatever happened to fitting the scheme to fit the personnel, not making the personnel fit the scheme? That went out a long time ago with a lot of coaches. Many coaches come in and they have an idea of what they want to run. So they will find players that fit their scheme instead of looking at what they have as a team and what works best for them, what works best for the personnel that they have. And, we've got this is a first-time coach too, but he seems he's in way above his head. Brian Flores literally he's got some pieces, but he really doesn't have anything to work with. And you got to know that as an offense,
the defense played well other than stopping the run. I mean, I know that's a kind of
And we kind of yeah,
but
and we knew that was going to happen going in. We knew
Yeah.
that once a team with a strong running game is going to just run all over this defense because we didn't fix that defensive line at all. Matter of fact, you bring in Dean Lowry, that's no major big thing.
did he play tonight?
Yeah, he was out there. I saw him. That's all I can say. I saw him.
Was Tonga hurt?
No, Tonga was out there too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He was out there too. Those are the guys. They were basically part of the highlight reel. They were running right past him.
Wasn't Phillips supposed to be a run stuffer? Isn't that why we signed him from Buffalo?
Yes. He was supposed to play nose tackle too, but they've got him playing like a 3 technique. Like that, when they line up, they're almost playing a 5-2, if you notice. And then every once in a while, it looks like a 4-3 when usually it's Daniil, who tonight played a lot with his hands in the dirt. I will say that. And he got 2 sacks. He might have got more than 2 sacks. He might have got 3. But, I mean, your only consistent pass rush is Daniil. Other than that, they stopped blitzing in the middle. And also, here's another problem too. When your offense doesn't help you with sustained drives, when they're 3 and out practically every drive, that's going to wear on your defense also. Time of possession was dominated by the Eagles. Total plays dominated by the Eagles. I mean,
well, they had 47 rushes for almost. I don't know what the yardage was, but it had to be almost. I think it was like almost 300.
Yeah. Hurts didn't have to throw tonight. He didn't have to.
Well,
and Hurts.
The Eagles are probably glad he didn't because he didn't look good throwing the ball tonight.
No, and he looks like he's coming back down to earth. Whatever he did last, he looks like he's going to be. And we're lucky, and I'll just say we're lucky that it wasn't worse because this year the Eagles got new coordinators.
Yeah,
both the coordinators from last year both got head coaching jobs. So they've got new coordinators. So they're also still trying to get this offense and defense down. But when you've got a team like the Vikings who's willingly giving you the ball every chance they can, it makes you look. It helps. A short field always helps the team.
The one field was really, really short.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't all the offense. I mean, it just seemed like all the luck the Vikings had last year. But,
they weren't going to have that this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it always balances out. But, I mean, the Powell return, that killed momentum. That was a great return until he fumbled.
KJ Osborne dropped a lot of passes tonight. A lot of passes where he was wide open. He dropped 4 passes. Yeah. And then JJ fumbles at the goal line.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to kill JJ too much for that because they do that all the time.
I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to put this out there.
Oh, yeah.
If JJ, if things don't work out, Jordan Anderson once again catches another TD pass, a long pass. Jordan Anderson's starting to look like he can play.
Yeah.
And he looks like he could be a number 1. So depending on how this contract thing goes, which here's the thing, JJ, you got 2 years. Just shut up and play football.
Yeah.
You got 2 years. If this team needs work, and this is the problem. They knew going into this season, both sides of the offensive line were going to be both sides of the lines, offense and defense, were going to be a problem. They did not upgrade them at all. Matter of fact, they stood pat with what they did last year, which last year is not a barometer to gauge your team with. You had a lot of luck last year. You didn't upgrade the offensive line, and you definitely didn't upgrade the defense. Even if you got Brian Flores, you gave him nothing to work with, which I'm still trying to figure out why he even took the job. Just to be honest.
Well, that might have been the one he had.
Well, he was still.
I'm sure they're still pretty mad about his whole sue in the NFL, which he should.
Well, he was, and here's the thing: he was on Tomlin's staff in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So he had a gig. I mean, why he took this?
I think he wants to be head coach again.
Well, if the way things are going, if it doesn't get any better for KOC, he could be here.
Yeah,
he could be the HC here, and I still say KOC needs to give up play calling.
I think, see, to me, I think when you first become a head coach, I think being the coordinator and the head coach is way too much responsibility. Uh, it's hard being a head coach, and I understand that you want to call plays,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's
I
hard. I
mean,
mean, there's
he's
only so many Andy Reeds out there.
yeah, and
You know,
everybody wants to be either Andy Reid or McVay.
right?
And just because somebody comes from that coaching tree doesn't mean they're going to make it as a head coach. And that's kind of the problem. Everybody, you think,
Yeah.
okay, he was in McVay's coaching staff, so he's going to be good. No, not necessarily. It depends on, and it's his first time calling plays. His first time calling plays as anything, as a coach, a coordinator. This is his first time. His first time calling plays is as a head coach. And his team's got many holes that as a head coach you need to see over.
So my question is, if Kirk wants to come back, and they want him back, because some in the organization do. I know most of us fans want to go younger. But what Kirk knows that they need help in the trenches, because he's already got his fully guaranteed contract. Does he do the Tom Brady? Does he take 17, 18 a year to stay to help with the offensive line?
No, it's not in his nature.
Yeah.
It's not in his nature. Kirk wants to get paid. Now, here's the thing. Kirk's got to make it out of this year healthy to get paid.
Don't look like he's going to.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But if I'm Kirk, I'm probably, if they're not going to upgrade that offensive line, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. Sarah, our point differential, I believe, is 9 points. I think it's 9 different points. We're -9, but we are -6 in turnovers.
I'd rather be like last year, be -3 in points.
We are -6 in turnovers. So, but here's the thing, though. This was brought on by this front office and this coaching staff because they knew before the season even started, they had holes on the offensive line and they had major holes on the defense. And they did nothing to upgrade it. They did nothing to fix it. They figured, well, we won 13 games last year. Let's stay status quo. Big, big, big mistake. And now you'll be lucky in your first 5 games to win 1.
Yep. 1-6.
I think they win next week
against the Chargers with Austin Eckler.
Yeah, because the Chargers, it's going to be a shootout.
We can't keep getting in these shootouts.
They can't hold on long enough.
We can't, and we get too many 3 and outs. And here's another thing too. Bosa and Mac coming off the edges against Kirk Cousins, who can't sense a pass rush for the life of them, doesn't fare too good. They may even line up Mac on the inside. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that a few times.
I got to see how the Chargers play this week before I make that final.
Who did the Chargers have again this week?
Gosh, I got to check.
I don't have my schedule here.
Yeah, but I know. I know it's probably they have to win at least 2.
Oh, Chargers are playing the Titans in Tennessee.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how good that defense really is for the Chargers if they can't stop the Titans.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Which have an anemic offense. So,
yeah.
Hey,
so
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's like we went on a couple of lives these Saturdays before the season started, and it's basically just like we told you so. Like we all said, this similar situations was going to happen. They can't stop the run, and they can't run. Like Madison, he's not it. He's a backup at best. Let's stop the nonsense and be honest with ourselves and say what he is. He's a good backup on a good team. But now that he's the man, people are not scared of him. He's not a threat. Yeah, Dalvin Cook might have had bad PFF numbers, whatever you want to call it, but at least he was a threat. and on the other side of the ball, they can't stop the run because they don't have the personnel.
And we had that problem last year.
Yeah, it's like you're getting too cute to the point to where it's like it's making me sick. Like
You know what it is?
Flores,
You know what
yeah.
it is? They believe their hype.
Yeah, don't believe the hype. Public
They
enemy
believe
said
their
it
hype.
best. Don't believe the hype.
Yep.
And it's just like you're sitting out there, you're running out 3 safeties, and you're being cute. And they're making tackles, but the running backs are running for 5, 6, 7 yards before you can even touch them.
Well, and
Like-
here's if you watch tonight's game, did you notice that many of the Eagles' offensive linemen were 5 yards past the line of scrimmage,
Yes.
blocking out the defensive backs and linebackers?
They were already
on
the
second level. They were
They're
already on
in the
second level.
And that's
think
what I
it
was
was,
explaining to guys. I'm saying, like, we don't even have when it comes to the linebackers, we don't even have the personnel for the guys that can just thump.
We are soft.
Well,
on the
Pace
line
is
of
the
We're
only one.
soft and small.
Pace was the only one who can thump, but he got put on his ass. pretty
He
hard by the
got put
offensive
down
line.
a couple
He
times.
got
One of
washed
them,
too many times.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of them, was it Johnstone? Got hold of him.
But did you think that the offensive tackle was leaving early pretty much every?
Did you notice that too? I'm noticing
Yeah.
that like in every NFL game now, these tackles are backing up quicker. They're before the ball is even snapped. They're taking that step, and they're getting away with it.
Even our guys.
No, our guys.
No,
wait till
that's
the
what,
end.
our guys. Our guys don't. do
We're
that,
the
so they
only.
get
We're
beat.
the only ones who ain't doing it.
We're the only one-
You know, we're the only ones playing by the rules.
Right. Right.
No, but the Eagle tackles did jump. They jumped early, and they got away with it. And I've seen that now, not only in Viking games. I've seen that in all NFL games where these tackles are backing up quicker than when the ball is snapped. They're not getting caught like. Well, the guy in Kansas City only got caught once.
And he was doing it far worse than what the Eagles tackles
Oh,
were doing.
he was like.
They were supposed to put an emphasis on that. Like the NFL sent a letter out to the referees telling them you guys need to watch the tackles leaving early. But
Here's another thing too. That whole like scrum that the Eagles do when it's like 4th and inches.
Yeah.
Wasn't the NFL supposed to take care of that, or was it,
Mhm.
they were
They were
supposed
supposed to, but they didn't get enough votes
for player safety?
for it.
yeah,
stayed.
outlaw the
Yeah.
rugby scrum. Yeah,
So they didn't get enough votes.
They kept it in this year. It
Yeah,
was on the
'cause you-
committee, but it
Yep.
didn't. It passed.
Oh, for God's sakes, never mind.
I
because you have owners. Because you got owners like the Eagles. You know the Eagles owner didn't vote for it.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
my
you
team
know,
does this-
he's not going to
he
vote
wants
for
to
it.
keep
but-
doing it.
But
my
then
team
who
does
are
it the best?
who are the ones that sided with them? Dallas?
Probably the Titans because they did the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
teams that
Ravens,
got running quarterbacks that can actually do
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
that's half the NFL
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. And you need
That's
what,
half the
28 to
NFL.
pass?
Like you said, maybe we need to start
Yeah.
cheating too. Maybe we need our tackles to leave early and we need to start rugby showing. Maybe
Yeah, but with our
Well-
luck,
We get caught.
we get flagged every time.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Kirk Cousins hater. I know where he is. He's a top 15, 16 quarterbacks around there. But with his chicken legs,
Yeah, he ends up breaking something.
That would be the play where the tackle leaves early and Kirk still gets knocked on his ass
Yeah.
yeah.
and fumbles.
So
So
did you guys talk about KOC yet? Like how you guys feeling about
let me get started on KOC.
on the
So
second game?
everybody,
'Cause
everybody,
you guys already know he don't notice with me.
everybody,
Yeah, we haven't,
everybody, just sit back and let me talk about
we
I'm
haven't,
KOC.
listening.
we haven't got there yet. I was still gonna, okay, before we get on KOC,
Okay, let's wait on KOC.
is there anything else that was you could take positive from this game? Then, like, to me, Greg Joseph he hasn't missed a kick this year. To me, that's positive, especially with him.
The guy's got one job to do. He needs to do it.
Well, I know, but look at last year. He missed more extra points than anybody else. But he's,
Right. Well, yeah, but this
Um,
year we're not getting in the end zone,
and-
so he's fine.
JJ looked good other than that fumble. Addison looks good. Hawkinson. Looks
Hawkinson come out of his
Yeah.
shell.
Yeah.
The players that really stuck out to me, Daniil did. I don't know if I know he had 2 sacks. He might
He
have
had
had
3.
3. He had 3.
What about the great big zero? Davenport, did he even play or do anything?
He came in for
went out,
a
didn't
series. I saw the 0. He made it look like he was in on the tackle, and then he was gone.
Did he pull a Lewis scene? Did he run out there? Hey, I'm on the field, and then run back.
Well, yeah, he actually might get credit for like an assist or something, but then he was gone. He was gone. And Lewisine, where was he?
I really thought when Metellus went out, I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna bring.
I thought it was going to be Scene.
And put Scene, in the box and put Harrison Smith further out. But they brought, Jackson in, and it was like, okay, Lewis Scene still don't get no burn.
By the way, I'm going to put this out there. After tonight's game, why is KJ Osborne starting ahead of Jordan Addison?
Because Addison can't block. He can't run block.
Osborne can't catch, and we don't run the ball. So guess what? Put Addison back in the game.
I'm just saying, like, that's just what I see. I think Addison's a little bit smaller, and KJ probably can block. But I agree with you. At this point, who cares? Ain't no blocking anybody anyway.
Yeah,
Kirk can hit anywhere it goes. So
it ain't like we're running the ball. I mean,
Exactly.
Seriously, we're not running the ball.
we can't run the ball.
Well,
we don't know because they won't stick to it.
Did they have positive yards rushing tonight? I don't think they did.
Yeah, barely had. I don't think they had more than 30, 35.
Someone on Twitter said, will the Vikings get more rushing yards or more points? Because at one time the Vikings had 14 points and 14 rushing yards.
How many points did we have tonight? 28?
28.
I swear to God, we had like 28 yards rushing. We might have had more, but I think it broke even.
And Jordan Hicks, another good game for him.
You know what? And I think Hicks was a spy tonight, and it actually worked. And it actually worked.
He was good today.
Tonight, he was good. The guys that stood out on defense were Hicks. Pace is going to be a baller. That's all there is to it.
We stole him.
Yeah. Daniil, which if Daniil keeps playing at this pace, you maybe should think about trading him.
Get some, you might as well.
You might as well. If this team is secretly in rebuild without saying they're in rebuild.
Look who it is.
Time to move. Oh no, here we go again.
You told me earlier it was too late. You were gonna be sleeping and everything. Now you up.
This time.
This loss probably got him upset like everybody else.
Just in time for.
I'm not even upset though, Tony. Real talk. I told y'all last week. I kind of wanted this 0-2 start because I really want to see what KOC got, and through adversity,
He ain't got nothing.
He ain't got it. I know now he ain't got nothing, but I still want to see it.
Hey,
but
I want to see it. Look at this comment, Tony.
What?
From
Which
Sarah.
One? Just start talking.
God, Sarah, you are awesome, Sarah. God, we love you. You are awesome.
Oh, God, Sarah's on it.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Man, that game was horrible, man.
Yeah, we all.
It was horrible in every sense of the word, except for the Vikings still had a chance to win. That's more on the Eagles than it is on the Vikings.
And he's right. It was a defense, but also the defense, they can't stop the run.
Yeah, they can't stop the run.
They can't stop the run, but are we going to play catch up all year? Because if that's the case, I don't know if I can watch this product.
Yeah, then the offense can't score.
The offense disappeared again, just like it did all last year. It's not fumbling the ball, they're disappearing, they're having 3 and outs, and then they wait till the fourth quarter to want to start dialing up plays to go down the field. I understand the defense is playing something different, but at the same time, KOC, you are supposed to be an offensive savant. Why are you not getting these guys?
No, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Let's relook at what you said. Who said KOC is an offensive savant?
You're right.
The Vikings when they hired him.
Yeah, they're the only ones. That's because you got people running the Viking organization who don't know crap about football.
Well, he came from the McVay coaching tree.
But he's a fraud. He ain't
McVay. But here's the thing though. In the McVay coaching tree, he didn't call a play. He's like Brad Childress was to the Andy Reid coaching tree.
He's like Ed Donatel was to Van.
It ain't that though.
He's exactly like that.
And
he never called plays though.
Oh Jesus! Don't start. Basically the offense now is kicking himself in the ass because they can't. They're 3 and out every damn play.
No, the offense got to be the worst in the league.
But they won't be because they put up yards.
They will be. They won't be because they put up yards, but they will be when it comes to rushing the ball and turnover differential.
They're going to be.
Okay,
they're going to be that team.
Hey,
what's the problem with the running game? Like, I know Madison is a backup and he can't be a feature back, but like he can't. Like, what else is going on with this?
That's you know what that is. That's play calling because KOC won't stick with the run long enough to get it going.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen enough of Madison already.
Yeah, I have too.
I've
seen enough. He done fumbled twice already.
Yeah, he got lucky with that second one. They
the
called it
last
back.
one he got
Because if you
bailed
think
out.
about it, he had a first down. If he holds on to the ball, that was a free play. It's the first down, but you ain't going to decline the penalty because your guy fumbled.
Yeah.
What was the last time the Vikings had a sure-handed running back? Because it wasn't Adrian Peterson.
No, the last time they had a sure-handed running back was probably Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Robert
It was Robert Smith, Adrian Peterson, and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, it was probably
Michael Bennett.
Well, Michael Bennett.
Bennett kept it for 1 year, but
Bennett kept getting hurt.
Took that. Yeah, Bennett broke his leg like twice in two straight years.
Yeah, I like to chase it. What's his name?
So what do you guys?
Chester Taylor was a good one.
Yeah,
what do you guys think of?
But that was only 1 year because Adrian Peterson got drafted.
Adrian took his snaps.
Adrian took over.
Yep, Adrian took his snaps.
I mean, I don't care if Adrian Peterson fumbled. That man was made out of metal. That dude is.
But if you think about it, though,
but Madison ain't AP.
When we had Michael Bennett, Bo Williams, Ontario Smith, Mawado Moore, all those guys, that was a true running back committee.
And we ran back committee, they never fumbled the ball.
And even in 2017 when Dalvin Cook got hurt in the third game against Detroit, Jerick McKinnon and
Latavius Murray never fumbled the ball.
Was a real good running back by committee. What we're seeing now, this ain't a running back by committee. This ain't it.
This offense horrible. The O-line horrible. The running back.
I think to get in the groove as an offensive lineman, you got to run because your run blocking. Your run blocking helps your pass blocking.
It does,
but that's why they say run to set up the pass. It's not necessarily to get yardage running the ball. It's to get your offensive linemen lathered up so they're more physical on the pass blocking. Because right now the offensive linemen for the Vikings are catching instead of attacking. Right. And I think that's what hurt Udo.
You know what happened? Udo blocked back when he rocked back. What happened was his feet got crossed. That's how bad it was. His feet got crossed. And you can't blame the turf. It was grass.
I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this though, but Christian Darrisaw ain't getting no contract.
He gonna get it.
He'll get it.
He gonna get
it.
He
don't need
to.
Gonna
get it.
What?
He'll get it.
He get hurt every game.
He'll get it.
He gonna get it.
What other option do you have?
His backup is hurt now.
It don't even matter.
His value just went up.
Yeah, his value just went up.
Yeah,
his value just went up. And here's another thing too. When these contracts come up, there's no guarantee that KOC and Kwesi will still have a job. It may be a whole new regime.
I don't see KOC.
Hey Tony, real talk though, and Zoe and Curtis, I don't know. I'm not saying KOC gets fired this year, but next year he's really on notice.
Well, this year, here's the deal. It all starts this year because last year they got
the honeymoon is over.
The honeymoon was over, and guess what? The front office got their agenda when they said, guess what? This team was good. The problem was Spielman and Zimmer.
But it went back to what I told you guys of a few Saturdays ago. Y'all remember when the Dallas Cowboys fired Bill Parcells, right? And the whole team was like, oh, Parcells was an asshole. Boom, 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 whatever. They hired Jason Garrett. I think they went like 12 games or whatever, and it was a great season. Then that next season, they went right back to where they was because the honeymoon is basically over. It was saying like that new voice in the locker room and that guy that's going to be okay with everything. It's the same thing that's happening. Vikings probably won't make the playoffs this year. They won't. And then they're going to be looking around like,
what KLC contract? 3 years or 4?
4. He got 4, and so did Kwesi.
Yeah, they both got 4 years.
I don't see Kwesi making. I think this year. I ain't gonna lie.
I think the GM is a little bit harder because sometimes his first draft class right now
is not looking good.
Is not looking good, but his second one,
they might as well be sitting right here with us.
is showing signs of life. So I
Well,
think general
well-
managers should get at least 4 to 5 years.
But here's
you know,
here's the thing
but-
too with Quezzy. Quezzy came from a football organization, but Quezzy's not a football guy.
No,
He's an
he's a-
analytics guy.
yeah,
And
He's a-
with
he's a-
that,
stock market guy.
he's a stock market guy. And what the Vikings are trying to do is cut corners from these contracts that they're, believe it or not, they're still going to be paying long after these players are gone,
Because they
including
keep
Kirk
kicking the
Cousins.
can down the line.
They're
with
kicking
these
it.
rookies.
They kicked the can
Yeah.
down the road more with TJ Hawkinson. So they're going to be on the hook for him. So
At least he's
it's-
worth it so far, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to jinx him. He might get hurt or something. I'm not going to say nothing. We still got, 15 more games?
Yeah.
We don't know what direction this team's going to go in, although I think it's a
I can
nosedive.
tell you. Shit.
It's but
Would you want to see Jaron Hall if we go 1-6 and
Sarah, man, I told you.
how would you feel about that?
I would be
Oh,
all
man.
in. I'd be
I
all
would
in on
too.
putting Jaron Hall in.
I think Kurt will be okay with it too because he ain't gonna be getting killed.
Well, and now here's the thing too.
I
if you're gonna-
I disagree.
If you're gonna bring in Jaron Hall, guess who called the plays for him in preseason?
West Phillips.
West Phillips.
Yep. So
Welcome
there.
to the show, Dave. Appreciate you.
What's up, Dave? So there, you're going to have to. I mean, KOC. All coaches have egos. Some coaches have egos worse than players. So a coach is going to be like, no, he's going to run my offense. Okay, your offense sucks, dude. You need to let somebody else do the play call.
Offense suck ain't the
know.
word.
So now here's what I'm looking at. This team is going to be 0-2. They got a long week, but once again, here's going to be a problem. KOC had that young defense of Brian Flores out there on that field way too long.
Again,
Second week in a row.
3 and out.
And Flores is the type of guy that he will voice his opinion.
Yes.
So we're going to see what happens with those two. I mean, they're not. I mean, KOC. I think if you raise your voice at him, he starts to cry. But
Just don't punch him in the eye with a piece of paper in your hand. We don't need that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna talk to him, keep your hands to yourself and no that paper.
You know what though?
Happens again.
That won't happen until they go to Chicago and lose that game, and then it'll happen all over again.
If the Vikings make Justin Fields look good, then we know it's over.
Well,
I can see
he
it.
can run.
We're probably going to make the Charger quarterback look good.
Well,
I
most
don't
people
know.
think some people
I like
think Herbert's a
Cleveland.
top 5 QB. So I don't know if that's
He is a very good quarterback. I would take him right now. But
He young Kirk Cousins.
You ain't
Don't-
lying. That's all he is.
yeah, he is. He really is. Just a taller version.
Yeah.
And young.
Well, yeah, Justin's Herbert's what,
Yeah,
6'5",
yeah.
6'6".
Yeah, Dave, we're ready for Wes Phillips to start calling the offense.
Yeah, 'cause KOC don't know what he doing.
They got
man.
a long
Yeah.
week. They got a long week for their next game. They need to reinvent themselves or something.
Well, and it's a home game too. So you're going to come home. You're 0-2, and you're playing a Charger team that you should beat. But once again,
Shit, they lost to the Bucks.
the Chargers have. I'm sorry, they got Austin Eckler, who if
Right.
the Chargers play it. Austin Eckler could look like Tony
And he's
Pollard
playing-
did last year on this defense,
And he's playing for a contract, so
he's
angry.
playing for a contract, so he's a little ticked off.
So I got a question for y'all too, though, right? You know the Vikings, they moved some money around with O'Neal, right? So they got some cap space or whatever. And
They kicked it down. They kicked it down the road.
They kicked it down the low, right? And
Yep.
they still got draft capital right now. Before we started the season, we were all talking about like, okay, we need to get a guard whatever way we can. Now we know we need a guard, we need a running back, we might need some defensive linemen.
We need
Like,
defensive. Here's the problem
What do you
with
do? What direction do you go in?
here's the problem with this because right now, Daniil Hunter might lead the league in sacks right now. So if he keeps at this pace, you're going to be able to get some draft collateral or player collateral for him. But once you get rid of Daniil, you have no pass rush.
You got number big zero coming out.
Like I said, once you get rid of Daniil, you have no pass rush. And first of all, when you're a defensive lineman, wear a 0 and you don't play, sit your ass on the bench. Just stay there. But that once again, you take away pieces from Flores.
Yeah.
You know, but what are you going to do? You need draft. You need players. This team needs so many things at so many positions.
So what's the pressing hold that if you could say we can trade a second round pick, fourth round pick to get anybody, what would be the first thing you would do?
Upgrade both offensive and defensive lines. Okay. You're going to put it this way. You can put anybody behind the line to play quarterback, right? Anybody. But if they're playing in front of that god-awful offensive line with all pro flop Ed Ingram in front of you, and you got to worry about a tackle, you can't even say his name, Quisenberry. You've got Schlattman, who sounds like he owns a deli, playing center. I mean,
you can. At this point, you can't even.
Yeah,
Schlotsky's.
Yeah. Let's go to Schlotzman's Deli. God.
You can't even fix the offense line at this point.
You can't. You're going to have to wait till next year.
You can't fix this team at this point.
You can't.
I don't want to say. Ain't no
too many holes.
The thing about it is the Ingram wasn't even the worst offensive lineman tonight.
No, he wasn't.
Udo.
Yeah.
Oh, he got hurt though, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then
hey, why these guys?
Schlottman got freight trained by that big rookie.
Like,
yeah,
Schlottman. Bad game. I ain't coming back.
Schlottman did get freight trained. Yeah.
I say I'm not paying Christian Darisaw shit. His ass getting traded. I'm trading Darisaw.
He got that. Darisaw got the same disease that Bradbury has.
I'm trading.
After the first game,
Bradbury
this game. Like if somebody does it the next game, I know they're doing it on purpose. I know they doing it on purpose.
I'm trading everybody. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Well,
they should have. The thing is, they should have cleaned house 2 years
ago.
Well, the issue with most Minnesota teams, this includes all of them, they hold on to players.
A year
Minnesota.
too late.
You got to be Minnesota loyalty.
You got
Minnesota. Man, if you're asking good, get out of here.
And I'll tell you what, that goes all the way back. That loyalty BS goes all the way back to Bud, unfortunately, because Bud kept his players longer than he should have. Man. And we've been stuck in that thing ever since. It takes like a disagreement or a contract or something to get somebody moved out of here.
I'll tell y'all this though, man. I'm trading Danielle Hunter big ass. I'm trading Darisaw. I'm trading TJ. It's over with.
You gotta have some players. You can't trade everybody.
You can't trade everybody.
Why?
No.
Yeah. Why you can't? You
just gave TJ money, so he's not.
I don't give a fuck. Trade him. You know what he getting paid.
But then you already got your.
Yeah, but here's a problem. Here's a problem with that.
Justin, I got the link in the chat if you want.
Here's a problem with that. So you're still on the hook for part of that contract.
Exactly.
Wow. If you
because
the money stays with the team that signed it.
Yeah. The guaranteed money is with the team that signed him, and then still, if you make a trade for him, that other team's going to be like, "I'm not taking this whole contract. You're still going to pay some of this contract. You
still got to absorb it."
Right? Why do you think Kirk is still here? Why do you think nobody took Kirk's guaranteed money? Nobody wants to help pay that.
At the end of the day, I said trade Hunter and trade TJ Hawkinson. We got all the money we got all this money invested in the offense, and we still got to get JJ his money and Christian Darisaw, and the offense ain't worth $2
You know what? I'm making JJ wait his 2 years. I got 2 years. I got 2 years to wait on JJ.
Especially the way he played today.
Because if this is about it, you might have cleaner books by the time you re-sign him, and JJ might want to do that because he's going to have more money because the cap going to go up in the next 2 seasons.
And you still need a quarterback.
For JJ, and even if you franchise tag him, you're going to get the average of the top five players of that position, which will be basically where he wants to be at anyway. So it's kind of like.
So now I got a question for all you guys, even for the people in the chat. We know how bad this offensive and defensive lines are. When do we start blaming the coaching and front office for that?
We doing that now.
Yesterday.
I don't blame. I don't blame the coaching as much as the front office.
Why you don't?
Because you can only coach what you have.
But can I ask you a question, Kurt? You listening?
Yeah. I'm listening.
The O-line look worse than last year. That's coaching. Ed Ingram don't look no better from last year.
But you can only You can only
Bad
coach so much.
Bradbury
If a player
gets
ain't
hurt
good, he ain't
again.
good.
And why they re-signed Bradbury, I don't know.
That's dumb.
That- he was cheap.
That's the front seat. That's go back to the front office.
That goes back to the front
Like
office.
you, as a coach, you can only coach the player you have. If
You
the
right.
player
Hey,
ain't good, he ain't
think
good.
about it like this though, guy. When the front with Bradbury, everybody throws out these PFF grades when they do their videos, right?
By the way,
Bradbury
I'm going to tell you guys. I got to
had a
tell you
great
guys something
PFF
right
grade.
now.
That's why
Before I'm going to tell you this right now with those PFF grades,
they don't
take
mean shit.
them with a grain of salt. Because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
that
I don't
if
look
you're
at that shit.
if
you
your
got an analytic guy like
eyes
Quasi,
right, and
you got
that's
an
a
analytic guy like
problem.
Quasi,
I
so
hate
he's like,
PFF.
oh, look at that PFF
Yeah.
grade is good. He's actually better now. Let's resign him. And that to me, those grades don't measure heart. They don't. To
No.
me, I don't. They don't measure heart.
Well,
Heart.
not only
What?
that, they
Wait.
see
What?
the thing about
What did you say? Heart?
the-
What's that? What's
the-
that?
the thing about
yeah,
PFF,
he don't have heart. He
What
let
the
Yes, they-
O-line do?
the thing about
he got hit by a
PFF
truck on the first game and went home.
is they think they know what the play is. They think they should know where this player should be on this spot, but they don't. They truly don't know. So they're going off what they think. They don't actually have the hard 1,000 concrete proof of what was actually called and what the player is supposed to. Like it's just, if the receiver is supposed to run a read route where he goes inside outside, does the post to flag or
And
to the
also,
sideline. They don't know that when
No,
they
they
do the PFF
don't.
grade. They just see okay, well he did this and you know
And also-
he should have done this, you know.
take
Exactly.
take PFF with a grain of salt. And the reason I say this is because it's run by guys from Australia.
I thought Chris Collinsworth owned it.
He is part of it.
Like I said, take it with a grain of salt because if Chris Collinsworth has anything to do with it, then you really got to take it with a grain of salt.
Well, that's why, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
and that's what I'm saying though. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Bradbury last year, his PFF grade was better than what it was. So it made it seem like he actually had a great year.
And
He
they,
was
you
still
know
getting
what though?
shortlisted last year. He
Yeah.
was still getting abused. If you watch the game, but you got guys who only believe in this analytic stuff. They just look at a piece of paper and
Because
it's like, oh,
you're now just
Mhm.
unfortunately sports now is being run by people who have never played said sport, and it's all about the entertainment value, which is why you've got people in the NFL making all these rules that favor the offense. Why?
let's go to flag
Because-
football then.
It don't give it time. Give it time. Because
Yeah, pretty
right
soon-
now, your defense ain't nothing but props.
Yeah.
They're just
I do have a question. I mean, I know you're pretty, you know, people in the league, Tony. So I got this
Mhm.
question for you.
okay.
Why is Kirk Cousins the only quarterback who does not get a personal foul when he gets
Yeah,
pretty
what
much
happened?
punched
Why
in the
you
head?
so loud?
Because he's Kirk Cousins.
But it shouldn't be that way. It should be a third string quarterback should get the same call out of Tom Brady if you get hit in the head.
But
like
see,
that.
with the NFL, they go and I'm sorry, with quarterbacks, it's very simple. Marquee value. Remember last year when Tom Brady took that really joke of that roughing a passer from Grady Jarrett? It was just like a regular sack. If that was any other quarterback, it would have stood, but it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a rule made for him when he got hit.
In Kansas
It
City.
was knocked out for the end of the year. They
Yeah.
made a rule for him. They didn't make a rule for
Aaron
Dan
Rodgers,
Marino.
too.
They never
Aaron-
made a rule for Dan Marino. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers got a rule too. But they never made a rule for Dan Marino. They never made a rule for Joe Montana. But with this new generation of quarterbacks, they are making it so the quarterbacks are all the vocal points. Everybody's got to have that franchise quarterback. So must-see TV and the networks are the problem. The networks want the best players to be on TV. Like right now, networks screwed themselves because they gave the Jets all these nationally televised games and there's no Aaron Rodgers. So guarantee you those games are going to be flexed if they're later in the year.
Well, there's gonna be a lot of moms watching.
Oh yeah, with Zach with Zach the MILF Hunter. Oh yeah, with Zach the MILF Hunter. Oh yeah.
Dave brings up a good point about JJ.
What did he say?
3 if you want to include the tag.
Yeah, 3 years if you want to include
Yeah,
the
you're right. 3 years
franchise
on-
tag.
Yeah,
So
But that-
with
but
that
that-
third
but
year,
like
the
we said
franchise
before,
tag is going to
That
be
works
high.
out for JJ
that works out. That actually works
Yeah.
out for JJ.
because
And-
the cap is going to keep going up, and that means his cap numbers are going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's probably the reason why he probably like, I'm good. Like, I'm just playing to be playing right now.
Hell
He
yeah,
ain't gonna
he
get
is.
paid anyway.
Yeah, he's getting paid regardless. Plus, he's got endorsements now.
Yeah.
The man is fine.
Well, how
He's
what
fine.
y'all think of that Kirk Cousins KFC commercial?
What
I
Kirk
ain't
Cousins?
see
Did
it.
you guys
What
see
Kirk?
that?
I didn't see it. He's got a KFC commercial.
He's got a KFC commercial talking
Okay.
about talking about people were talking about Kurt. They say you got slippery hands. He goes, "There's a reason why I got slippery hands." He's doing the KFC grease.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, that's why and that's why,
Oh my
and
god.
that is why I eat at Popeyes.
Are you serious, Curtis? He really got a
Dead
KFC?
serious
Yeah.
KFC commercial.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, and now he's got a little more over. He's gotten kind of overexposed now too.
Yeah, that Netflix show did it for him.
Yeah. Which, okay, if we're going by that, Hard
Bring that-
Knocks
bring that
had Aaron
KFC.
Rodgers hurt, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen to Kirk.
Hey,
So
but that's what we might need though to get the,
no,
the
the KFCs up here were all bought out by Popeyes. They're bringing KFC back, but it's all Popeyes now.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
wow. Can we talk about Kurt KLC now, Curtis?
Oh, I thought Tony already did. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't really go off on him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
We should make
I got my
a
popcorn ready.
short
I'm
like
ready to hit it.
10-second video. Now it's time for the Tony KOC rant.
I'm just patiently waiting, man.
No, bottom line, KOC needs to give up play calling. Bottom line, he needs to focus on this team, and he needs to focus on how to build and make this team tougher, stronger, bigger, and not. He's got too many holes, and he didn't fix them. The 13 wins glossed over the holes that we knew were there because they were there for 2 quarters during those games last year that they came back and won. We saw those holes, but they were lucky enough to win. But the losses were glaring. The losses really exposed them. And they didn't do anything in the offseason to fix it. I don't know what the hell they were doing in the offseason because it doesn't look like they were doing anything. And now this is what you get. This is what you get.
A bunch of nothing.
A bunch of nothing. This is
Nothing.
what you get now is you actually got to line up on Sundays and win these games from start to finish. And KOC still doesn't have it. He's still 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Oh, I'm putting together a drive in the middle of the second quarter. Start of the second half, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Okay, end of the game. I'm going to put together a drive. It's over, dude. Stop.
So how can you approach him and say, "Hey, West needs to call the plays from now on"?
Here's
I don't think the Wilfs will do that.
here's another problem with that. Exactly, Curtis. The Wilfs won't do that.
They're
You know what-
hands-off owners.
They're hands-off owners, unfortunately.
Well,
When they-
hey, I tell you what, that shit gonna change after about 7 more weeks.
no, they'll still be hands-off.
Yeah.
What about Quasi? You think Quasi was say? Well, he don't know.
Quasi
I
don't know
think-
what the hell he's
He
saying.
don't know
He
anything.
know
Plus,
what he
they're
wants,
too-
you know?
They're too
Yeah.
close.
Quasi
They're
don't
too
know
close.
nothing.
Yeah.
They're Quasi and KOC are actually joined at the hip. They're joined. It's really KOC and Quasi versus Andrew and Mark Wilf. But the final say is Mark and Andrew Miller. And Miller is a baseball guy. You know,
It's
it's
all
like
messed up,
So
man.
basically,
Can we get Zimmer back and
basically
Spielman, please?
doomed.
no, don't bring Spielman back. No.
At least he was a football guy.
Well, yeah, and that's debatable.
So we just doomed at this point.
Well, see, here's the thing now. The worst thing that Mark Wilf could have did was bring up that whole competitive rebuild. That's the worst thing he could have said. Now, if they're going to do a rebuild, they're not going to say anything. They're just going to do it. But you can tell and you know they're in rebuild by
Ain't
their
shit
actions.
competitive about what
But-
I've been seeing.
But
And
how
they're-
many fans would they really, really lose if they went 3-13 for a couple years to rebuild? I don't think
None.
they'd lose very many.
None. Well, here's another thing too. The stadium's paid for, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The stadium is paid up. So
Right.
it might hurt their season tickets, but they're good in marketing. The team is very good at marketing, so they'll be fine.
I don't think. See, the thing with JJ, I don't think they'll be that bad. because he's good for at least 2 wins by himself.
Yeah, but JJ don't play defense and JJ don't block.
Well,
Shit, you a lie. Shit, we might win 2 games with JJ this year.
according to Sarah, JJ blocks. Let me go back to that chat.
We're not getting blown out in our losses. Well, yeah, so far, but we're still
Yeah.
losing.
Not
We're still
loss is a
losing.
loss.
A loss is a loss.
You lost.
the season's still fresh.
Hey, an ugly win is just as good. It's just beautiful as a
At
beautiful
least
win.
we're losing with dignity. Yeah, I guess so. If that's what you want to call it. You're still losing.
She did laugh after she said it.
She
so I
said
don't
to
know.
block JJ. Okay, she said to block JJ through last year for Cook,
Yeah, in the one that
the Buffalo game.
The
But
Buffalo
yeah,
game, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was okay, but at the end of the day, you gotta understand who the running back was. Cook, even though Cook wasn't great last year, he still has that second gear.
Guys,
Madison got that.
you have to admit though, the hardest hit we've seen from this team this year
JJ.
Was
is they hit JJ put on dude after the interception.
Yeah,
He even out hit the whole defense, dude. He has out hit the whole defense the last 2 weeks with one hit.
I ain't seen the defense hit nobody yet for real.
what you think about Harrison Smith, guys?
I was getting
He
ready to say,
old.
what has happened, man?
He's showing his
He
age.
old.
He's showing
I
his
said,
age.
I've been saying
he
get rid of
missed
his
a
ass
tackle,
too.
and I was
He's
just
showing
like,
his age.
man, my boy, the hit man, he the missed man now, man.
And here's another thing too. Let's not forget, these starters didn't play at all in preseason. This is their first action, so they're still getting their
Except for Ingram.
Yeah, but
except for Ingram.
yeah, but him
But-
old now, man.
But yeah, I mean
they
Harrison.
should let him go anyway.
They should have let him go 2 years ago.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, they should have let him go, and he took a pay cut to stay.
I'm like, man, I'd have told his ass bye.
But what you got? I mean, you've got. I mean, obviously,
what?
Brian Flores wanted him here.
obviously something's up with Scene that he's not getting on the field.
Man, seeing a bus. We ain't
I
gotta
think
talk
he's
about him.
I think
it's
it's some locker room stuff.
I think it's kind of I think it's mental with him now.
Man,
yeah.
seeing is a
I
bus.
think it's mental.
I'm not gonna say that just yet.
You ain't got to. He gonna say it in a minute. Shit, you
He
ain't got to.
He can't get on. If you
No,
can't get on the field, and they actually extended Metellus.
And you can't get on the field when Metellus get injured. Who the fuck is Williams or Jackson?
Jackson's the one that had Theo Jackson had the interception.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
I'm
special teamer, but
Yeah, he's a special teamer.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
unlike,
saying I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You can't get on the field over him.
Yeah, it's just
I'm not giving up on Scene just yet.
We
I'm
know
not.
you ain't, bro. You still
You know what?
Kirk Cousins, yes.
not.
Sarah brings up a good point. He doesn't study the playbook,
Yeah,
and
I said it's
that's
mental.
yeah, and it's mental. He doesn't study the playbook. Maybe I don't know why, but
Because you got to understand though, what defense was he? He was over there with Georgia when they had all them dogs back there,
and he could freelance.
and he can freelance and do whatever he wanted to do. So it's kind of like, well,
Now you got-
this
now
is
you-
what got me here. Why
Yeah.
can't you just do that? And
But
now
my
you
question
understand,
is,
too.
don't they test them before they draft them? Don't they have them go to the chalkboard and say, this is the situation. What do you do in this situation? What coverage do you think we should run when the offense comes out?
They do that with the quarterbacks. They don't do that
But
with the
probably
rest
not
of
with the
them.
Vikings draft people. They don't do that.
Well, put it this way:
They just draft people.
Scene wasn't even on their radar.
No,
The guy they wanted, the guy that Quezzy wanted, he traded to the Lions.
You should have took him. Shit.
He wanted Jamison
They should
Williams.
have took that guy.
They still could have had Hamilton if they wanted to safety.
Yeah. Or something. Yeah. The guy from
but
Notre Dame, Kyle
but
Hamilton. Yeah.
that was a case where the analytics told them to trade down. You won't have to pay him as much, even in the first round market.
Oh my God, they trying not to pay a first rounder, man.
So what does the analytics say about trading next year's for, if the Vikings if they miss the playoffs right now? Let's be honest, looks like they are.
If they miss the playoffs, I think you just do a fire sale.
But what I'm saying is Quasey willing to trade players that need to be traded or not sign players that don't need to be re-signed and give up picks to move up to get a quarterback?
And here's a scoop with that. Okay, I want everybody to think back, including you, Zoe. You'll probably remember this because it's within 2 years. Here's the deal. Remember when Quezzy took the job? In his presser, they asked him, is he doing all the decisions? Quezzy said, I make some of the decisions, but all the decisions will be done by committee.
Right.
Yep.
Guess who that committee is? Quezzy, Miller, Wilf, and KOC for the most part. So if Quezzy's got an idea, and Quezzy's been shot down a couple times already in his ideas. They've already
See, that didn't happen with Spielman.
Well, they gave Spielman complete control. That's the problem. And the Wilfs made that after what happened with Zimmer and all that.
That shit wasn't fun.
Yeah, after they gave him all that control, and what was funny, I don't even remember. Anyway,
The history 2 years.
oh, okay. Once that went down, they took away. They weren't going to give the next guy all that control because Spielman was running a football part. He was just doing it. The Wilfs were not on hand or nothing. The Wilfs don't even live in the Twin Cities. Ziggy's never lived up here, never had a house. They've got the hotels now, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mark stays in one of the suites. But now they're hands-on because one of the reasons Harbaugh didn't come up here was not only because of the part owner that put up the stink that was a Michigan alumni, but Mark Wilf talked to Trent Baalke, who does not get along with Jim Harbaugh. And so after talking to Baalke, that's when Mark Wilf came in with the presser and said, we've decided to go in another direction. 20 minutes later, they were all in on KOC.
Well, with that being said, let's welcome our main man, Justin, to the show.
So basically,
Purple
we
and gold
screwed.
for days.
Dang, what's the deal?
Man, ain't this some bullshit?
Ooh,
Oh my God.
Hey, Dave, I hear it in your voice.
Say what?
I said, I hear it in your voice.
Well, I'm just saying. You want to know what's funny? We really even shouldn't be that surprised by this. We really
Oh,
shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh, I'm not.
We shouldn't.
I
I
was mad. I was
expected
mad
worse.
last week.
I expected worse. I'm gonna be honest with you.
This team is so undisciplined. I was saying that with Dave earlier when I was on his show. This is all on KOC.
This is all his now. This is
Not
all
playing
him.
the starters. I think
Yeah.
that has a real big effect.
This is
I
all
don't
on
think
him.
it's that. I don't think it's that.
Hey,
I
no,
think it. You 7 fucking turnovers in 2 weeks. That's coaching.
We can't blame Ed Ingram for all of them either.
7 turnovers in 2 weeks is just a lack of discipline. They need a disciplinary coach like Mike Zimmer or something.
Brian Flores.
Well,
Brian Flores.
but they wanted to get away from that because of
Yeah.
what the players said last year. Those players aren't here anymore, by the way.
Yeah, fine.
And this is what you're stuck with.
No, this is just it just kind of is what it is. You were talking about the structure of the committee approach. Mark and Miller and Quasi. And I said this to wrap up the show I did with Dave. For the last 5 years, you've been spending like drunken sailors and pushing money into future years
Yeah.
to try to keep a window that everybody on the planet knew closed in 2019.
Yeah.
Say what you want about how petulant Stephon Diggs was, but he was right.
He had a point.
He was right. And the Vikings had an opportunity to pivot after 2019. And then they had another opportunity to pivot in 2020, halfway through when they started off 1-5. And they didn't do it. No, we're going to keep on pushing all the way on to 7-9. And then the next year, we're going to push on again to 8-9. And like you said a moment ago, Tony, I said it when they were getting ready to fire Zimmer. And as it turns out, Spielman.
Mhm.
They need to fire Zimmers. They need to fire Spielman. And they need to clean house. They need to get rid of Kirk. They need to get rid of Thielen. They need to get rid of Kendricks, Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
No. We're just fine. It was all Mike Zimmer's fault, like you said. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The season's not over. And I know, but for these 7 turnovers, we could have won both of these games. But we didn't because we kept turning the ball over. Because your offensive, you are so weak on your offensive line and your defensive line.
I
We can
told you.
talk about Cousins, Jefferson, Addison, the running backs. None of it matters if you don't have an offensive line.
I got to be honest with you. At this point, Cousins is the toughest dude on the field with all the hits he's taken.
There's not much I'm gonna say bad about Cousins tonight. Like I could kind
Mm-mm.
Right. I ain't say nothing bad.
I can't
to him.
say I haven't had nothing to say bad about Cousins the last 2 weeks. Matter of fact, I felt bad for him last week.
last
And-
week it was kind of like, okay, you're not the main problem, but
You're still, but your little things that make you the problem pop up every now and then. But
like
he's, I mean,
tonight,
like
like-
tonight.
like
Tonight.
tonight. Oh, it's okay. Justin Jefferson, like, just secure the ball, dude. But whatever. But
Well,
when
no,
that-
not
when
only
the
him,
snow-
but KJ Osborne too. Catch
I'm
I'm gonna
tired
get to him in a
ass.
minute.
I'm done.
I'm
I'm done with KJ.
I will get to his ass in a minute. Here's the,
I
here's-
love you as a person, KJ. You're an awesome human being. I love you, but your job is to catch the ball.
You got one job and you can't even do
Yeah,
that.
I'm a lineman. My job's not to catch the ball. I can't catch with a damn. That ain't my job.
Mm-mm.
there should be no further discussion that Jordan Addison should be the number 2 wide receiver.
Oh,
Thank you.
Period.
Thank
Without
you.
question.
No discussion.
Thank you.
No discussion. But the only thing I was going to say about Kirk tonight is some quarterbacks, when it starts to snowball, can get you out of it, and some quarterbacks can't. Now, after the fumble touchdown, they go up 27-7. We score a touchdown, make it 27-14. The defense gets you a 3 and out, and it's like, okay, here's our chance. And what do? We go 3 and out. And then they score again. And now we're just playing catch up because we're behind by 2 scores. The rest
So
of
how much? So how
But
much
did
of that?
Cousins get killed on one of those plays?
How
though?
much? How much of that do we blame on KC though? Or KOC?
A
All of
lot
it.
of it.
all of it. All I was saying was that a quarterback that is a notch above Kirk would have found a way to stop that snowballing. But I'm not putting it on him. Let me be clear,
Right.
because
Right.
somebody in our chat earlier was just like, I can't believe you're yelling at Kirk. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is some quarterbacks will find a way to overcome their coach's incompetence. So I don't blame him for that. But to your point, the larger point,
Mhm.
this is all on KOC.
The offense is horrible.
Yeah.
And
His
and-
play calling is so bad. You done gave Alexander Madison the ball 11 times last week, and how many carries he have tonight?
I think he had 5.
5. And he
But
only,
But hey,
had,
they didn't throw a tight end screen.
he only had. Yes, because the tight ends couldn't get open.
See, yeah, well, you're talking about Justin. There's only I would say there's only 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that can do that.
Right.
Mahomes, Burrow,
Hurts.
Hurts.
Hurts because his running ability. Yeah, and Jackson because of his running ability.
You also have
But
those quarterbacks that will
Allen in
challenge.
Buffalo. Allen in Buffalo is lost without Dable.
Yep.
Since Dable
Mhm.
left, Allen isn't on the level as those other guys.
Nope, he's not anymore.
and that's going to cost probably McDermott his job.
They should have got rid of McDermott and
As
kept
Sarah
Dable.
says. Man,
I
Sarah's
gave him
on
a
fire
pass
tonight,
last year.
man.
Oh, Sarah been on fire for the last 5
Mhm.
days.
Mhm.
The Sarah been on go.
Mm.
Yeah.
But no, again, here's the problem, though. Here's the real problem. And we've had this conversation, but I'll have it to you a different way. You guys were talking earlier. Well, is it really on KOC? He's only got the players that he's got. Okay, well, then it's on Kwesi. But I'll say again, Kwesi was told what to do. He was told, no, you're not going to tear this team down. You're going to keep this team. You're going to get us out of salary cap debt, but you're still going to sign a bunch of players so that we can be competitive.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm not
Poles didn't take the job.
Yep. Exactly. That's why
I
Poles
won't
didn't
give
take the job.
Kwesi a pass for his drafting, and we still got to let that play out. But it don't look good.
It doesn't look good right now.
It does not look
Especially
good.
his first one.
Yeah.
He only had
Exactly.
5 picks last year.
So this all
So-
goes back to the owners. They have told their subordinates, this is how I want you to do your job. And this is the result. You don't have no money to sign offensive line. You don't have no money to sign defensive line because you done spent a whole bunch of this year and last year and next year's salary cap
On fantasy
during-
football positions.
And by
And-
pushing all that money forward the last couple of years.
Yeah.
of
There's,
Spielman.
and like I said, they're still going to be on the hook for a lot of them contracts, even after them players are gone. They're still going to be on the hook.
Oh, you are right, Sarah. But
Yeah, polls ain't looking too good either in
it's
Chicago.
but see, the Vikings have
But
the
I'd
opposite
rather be
problem.
where I'd
the
rather be where
Twins.
Poles is at.
The Twins
Yeah.
had a major issue to where they wouldn't spend on free agency. They wouldn't spend
Mhm.
to keep their players. Now they have a guy who's willing to do that. So the Twins are finally going to turn the corner in that regard. The Vikings are the opposite. The Vikings spending money is no
we're
issue.
giving
It's
money
who
like
they
it's no problem.
yeah, but it's who they spend the money on.
The wrong
Exactly.
people.
We said that.
Yep.
They spent it in the wrong places. 2019, they
I mean-
signed Anthony Barr. They should have signed a damn guard.
Mhm.
But no, Zimmer said we got to keep Anthony Barr.
Because he
don't-
was my first
And
draft pick.
don't forget he overpaid he re-signed Everson like a year later. He re-signed Barr again, and he re-signed a couple of others that you should have
Cook.
let them go. Cook, you should have let them go when you had the chance.
And they gave Adam Thielen a contract last year for no reason. He
Yeah.
wasn't up for a contract. They just said, no,
No.
we're going to just give him more money.
By the
Now
way,
we
I think
Well, he was chirping a little bit about his
Let
money.
him.
like, he
him
wasn't
serve,
he wasn't
yeah.
going to go anywhere.
He
And
ain't
and
going.
here's the thing: I think the Vikings are still on the hook for some of that money this year.
This year,
But-
their dead cap on Thielen is $13 million.
Yeah, going back to my Twins point, what the Wilf family needs is they need someone to say, it's okay. It's okay to be bad for a couple years.
We've
It's
been
okay to
saying that,
restructure.
haven't
We've
we,
been saying
Tony?
that.
It's
Yeah,
it's,
we've been saying that.
Yes.
it's okay. It's okay. Viking, I mean, come on, we're Viking fans. We're not going to go anywhere. Come on, look at the agony.
You
we've
ain't
been
going to
through.
lose any
But
money, dude.
you know what? With the Wilfs though, this is the problem with the Wilfs. The Wilfs aren't paying attention to Detroit and Chicago. The Wilfs, as long as we're better than Green Bay,
Yep.
is successful.
Shit, it might not be.
Go back in a second.
I know.
But
I know. As long as we're better than Green Bay, it's fine. But they don't want to lose that notoriety and that money to the Packers. The rest of the division, they're not even worried about. It's Green
They're
Bay.
not really going to lose any of the money anyway, regardless.
No, they're not. And here's the thing: the
They
stadium's
think they
paid for.
would. Like you said, the stadium paid for. They think they would lose money. They wouldn't lose money.
Mm-mm.
In fact, the fan base would probably welcome just getting out of mediocrity. Because, as I've said, you should have blew up the team last year, and now all you did was delay the inevitable by 2 years.
Well, and in the words of Mark Wilf, competitive rebuild, you knew there was going to delay it some more, and that was just to get back at Zimmer. You got nobody to blame now but yourself. So this is on you guys. So I mean
seriously, look at the stats tonight. You done sacked Jalen Hurts 4 or 5 times. Kirk Cousins had 360 some yards and 4 touchdowns.
and you
Jordan
lost.
Addison, KJ Osborne, and TJ Hawkinson, and all got in the end zone. TJ got in twice, and you still lost this game.
How many yards did they? Who's the leading rusher for the Eagles tonight?
Well,
Yeah,
Swift.
Dude,
How many-
Swift had like a $180.
Did
Yeah,
he?
some-
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Close to that. I
damn
mean,
near 200.
it may not be a $180, but it was pretty close to it.
It was damn near 200 yards.
Yeah, see, Dave, I don't think this is going to happen again, man.
You know what, Dave? The blackouts are done now that you've got the streaming systems and all that. That's done.
Yeah,
That's,
man. It's over
and the
with.
NFL doesn't do blackouts anymore.
I was
Hey,
about
I'm
to
gonna
say,
see y'all Saturday night.
All right, Zoe.
All right.
I
Later,
ain't gonna be
Zoe.
along too much longer either way. I gotta go to bed. But
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
it's frustrating because it's like
We've seen this before.
That was close, 175.
you knew this was coming, and guess what? Even if it hadn't come, they could still go 9-8 and lose in the first round of the playoffs. And what
probably
does that
will.
get you?
Which they would, but what does that get you?
What does that get you? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
can stop this. First off, let's stop this nonsense about trading Kirk to New York. He would never accept a trade to New York. Okay.
Well, plus, he's already told the Jets no.
Exactly. But no, if they start out, if they don't beat the Chargers and they go to 0-3, if they go to 0-3,
Oh,
okay,
there's-
so you beat Carolina. Well, then you lose to Kansas City. Now you 1-4.
Well,
Maybe you beat Chicago. Now you 2-4.
2-4.
You
You got
lose
the
this-
Niners next.
So that's 2-5. If you're 2-5 after 7 games,
It's a wrap.
you need to be trading pieces away as quick as possible.
And I think the
No.
first one to go would be Daniil.
I don't
Exactly.
think they will though.
No, they won't, because the
They
Wills will
won't. They won't. And
2020, like I said, they were 1-5 and they could have done it and they didn't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it.
no, it's. I don't know the thinking of this front. I wish I did. From my friend, he's told me there's just no direction, none
Mhm.
whatsoever, and it's obvious.
They are spinning their wheels.
And they're like the hamster wheel.
Hmm.
And he is just, and it's frustrating to people that are there. It's like usually they know what's going on, but now they're just like, what the hell's going on? They don't even want to go to work.
Because
No.
let's say that the defense had gotten that one last stop last week, and let's say they had come back and won. Let's just say
Mhm.
they had. And then let's just say that they had come back and won tonight. It would still be the biggest pile of fool's gold you ever saw.
It would be just last year revisited.
Hmm.
That's all it is. It's
But
just last year revisited.
the problem I have right now is, where do you go from here? What does this team do? They've got so many holes, and they've been putting band-aids on these holes for years.
You know what's going to happen. You're
What
going
the
to
hell
have the locker room start to implode. And I don't know if KOC can handle that.
No, I can tell you right now, he
Yeah.
cannot handle it.
He can't handle the adversity.
He's already shown you he can't handle it, because he's already shown you that he hasn't learned his lessons.
Mm-mm.
Last year, Ed Donashell, you should have either fired him or taken away the play calling after that Dallas game. Well, after the New England game.
After the New England game.
And
I
he didn't
know.
do it.
Actually,
And this year, through 2 weeks, he's got the same problems, and he's not fixing them. It's like he doesn't know how.
Well, like
He's going to have to do some soul searching in the next 10 days. That's for sure.
what's probably going to happen is he's probably going to start butting heads with Brian Flores.
If he hasn't already.
Exactly. Because you're leaving Flores is out there, and that's a young defense. You're leaving them out there 3 and they don't even get time to catch their breath before you are punting the ball again.
I'll say this, and then I got to go. That defense once again deserved better.
Yeah,
There's not very many stars on that defense. You got Daniil Hunter.
Exactly.
And you got your hope and a prayer on Ivan Pace. You got a solid guy in Byron Murphy Jr.
Yeah.
Harrison Smith just looked old out there to me.
Harrison's looking old. He's looked old the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked older. He's looking his age.
I mean, he had some decent plays tonight, and he made some tackles tonight. He just looks like an average guy. He doesn't look like the splash Harrison Smith anymore.
Mm-mm.
And now all of a sudden, well, now what the hell else you got? And in spite of all that, that defense gave you opportunities in that first half.
He's been our best defensive player so far, besides Daniil.
Who's that?
Is that Pace? Is that Pace?
No, that's Hicks.
Oh, Jordan Hicks.
Yeah,
For
Hicks was solid. Solid.
He must have been, I think he was the spy tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he was the spy. But you can tell,
because you can tell that this guy is still a rookie.
But you can also tell Hurts has a new coordinator, because they're still trying to get used to that offense.
Mm-hmm.
But running the ball was not a problem.
He looked like Hurts was like trying to protect himself from getting hurt tonight.
He took some shots.
Yeah,
they mostly came from Daniil, but he took some shots. And Daniil was, I'll tell you what, Daniil's getting held every play, and still getting. They don't call it.
JJ gets held every play. And they don't call that either. Cousins gets hit in the face. They don't call that.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever we want to say about Cousins, that was some bullshit.
The last 2 weeks, as much as I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan, I got more respect for the man just the last 2 weeks for the shots he's took and for what he's had to deal with this year. It's been, to me, just complete BS, which falls back on your front office and your coach. You know this man has limitations. You know what he can do and can't do. You know he needs an offensive line, and you didn't go out there and get him one. You never have. So I'll tell you what, one of them hits is gonna cost him It's going to cost him. I don't want to say that, but it will probably cost him.
Hmm.
You know, and then who are you going to blame?
Well,
You know,
I mean, I know Kirk Cousins, the only game he's missed was because of COVID since he's been a Vikings quarterback. I don't think he missed
Mhm.
much time when he played for Washington either.
Mm-mm.
If he
No, he
does
didn't.
if he does get hurt, do you think they put Mullins in, or do you think they go with Hall?
Well, if they're smart, they would put Hall in. But we've seen that they're not so smart in some instances. If
And
Kirk Cousins misses like 1 or 2 games, you go with Nick Mullins just to try to keep afloat.
yeah.
If Kirk Cousins is out for the year, you just punt and you trade away everybody and you let Jaron Hall see what he's got. What's up, Yogi?
What's up,
Even
Yogi?
if they're
What
2-7, Cousin gets hurt, you still think they go with Mullins?
You know
If they're
what? With
two and
this,
seven and Cousins gets hurt, I would go with Hall. Period. But I'm
I
talking
would go with
about
Hall, but it's
we're talking about what we think they would do.
with this
Yeah.
front office. This front office will be we're going to salvage the season. This front office will still think they can make the playoffs.
No, this ownership will still think
That's what I meant. The ownership. Well, that's the front
Yeah.
office. That's the front
Right.
office.
Yeah, good point.
They'll still think. Well, we're in it. We're still in this. We're not out of it. You know, it's like you're done, dude. Just throw in the white flag, throw in the towel. Just be on the clock.
And he's gone.
I gotta go, gentlemen. Yogi, you take it home here. All right.
Thank you for joining, Justin.
All right, Justin. Thanks for
Pleasure.
coming on, man. You
Pleasure
take
as always,
care.
man.
Bye.
Yep.
Yeah, I just got home. I'm still heated.
Appreciate Sarah and Dave sticking with us, man. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, Sarah's great. Dave is
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know, it's with a game like this, it's frustrating because you see, we as fans, and we know football also, we see what the problem is. What is it with these people that are there every day, working with these players, seeing this go down, but they keep trudging the same BS out there each week? They're not even trying to fix it. What is that?
Is it the mentality that coaches have? Is I can fix this person. I can fix what's wrong with them. We can get. I know my system is sound. I know my system works. So we have, it'll figure itself out.
It could be, but it's also, did these coaches take the time to actually teach that system? Or are they just going to be like, okay, this is how so-and-so does it, just piggyback off of that? It's like, you've got training camp, you've got practices, you've got team meetings. These guys look like they have no idea what the hell they're doing. They actually look up, sometimes they don't even know what the assignment is.
Speaking of systems, I think we need to go to 4-3.
I do too.
I don't think we have the personnel or the right bodies for a 3-4 hybrid, whatever kind of defense.
Yeah,
because our run game defense, you can't even watch it.
You can't even watch it. You can't even watch it. You're undersized at linebacker, which if you're going to do that, you need big horses up front, right in that nose and the 3 technique. Actually have them right on the nose of the center, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
They got to take up space, especially to keep blockers from getting to that second level on those small linebackers like Ivan Pace. And we don't have that. We've got players, they look out of position. You got Harrison Smith playing defensive end. Why? Does that man look like a defensive end to you?
No.
Come on, Phillips, I mean, it's just...
At least if you want, not a 4-3, if you like using if Beefo likes using the safeties he's like using, at least a 4-2-5.
That's what I'm thinking, which can roll into a 4-3.
Right, because you can use Metellus as a third linebacker if you have to.
Yeah.
But until, it's like I was saying earlier, until you get the players that you actually draft for a 3-4, you have to stay with at least run a multiple front. You have some players you can run a 3-4 with, some players who are mostly 4-3, but our main guys are 4-3s. Like Wanham he went to South Carolina. That's where I went. He's a 4-3 guy. They ran a 4-2-5 at South Carolina, so he's a 4-3 guy.
He's a 4-3 guy, but they had him tonight in pass coverage.
Right. He actually did play. He actually played halfway decent tonight, but Davenport, the Saints ran a 4. The Davenport.
Good one, Sarah. Good one, Sarah.
Yeah, Davenport paid for a 4-3 for the Saints.
Yeah, and he wasn't an end. He was actually a 3 technique.
Yeah, and
so,
UTSA was the same thing because I'm in San Antonio, so I watched him at UTSA. It's the same thing. But
they've got him lined up as an outside linebacker. It's almost like they have no idea where they want to put. They have no idea how to run this defense, and they said Brian Flores is here. It's your defense. You fix it. But you didn't give Brian anything to fix it. You gave him marginal players at best.
And the guys who are a 3-4, they don't play. They don't play Blacklock. They don't play Bullard. Those guys are 3-4 guys, but they don't play them.
I don't know why Bullard's even on the team, to be honest.
Well, yeah, he's a 3-4. He was the first guy they signed, I think, that was a 3-4 guy.
He wasn't that good at it.
Them
good years are past him. And here's the thing. Here's the whole thing with the whole 3-4 thing. With somebody like Bullard, you put him on the nose, or you put Phillips on the nose, and he's basically Bullard would be like your 3 technique to overload a side to look where to see where their strong side is. There's ways around it if you put the time in to figure out your personnel. But unfortunately, when we signed KOC last year, here's the thing. They signed Ed Donatel before they signed KOC. So they already knew they were going with a 3-4. And that's only because he wanted to piggyback. I think KOC wanted to piggyback off of the offense that who's the D coordinator with the Rams? Was it Wade Phillips then? Or was it Raheem Morris?
I think Raheem Morris is the defensive coordinator now, I think. I don't know if
when they won the Super Bowl, was it Wade Phillips?
I believe so. He runs a 3-4.
He wanted to piggyback off of that to see, but Wade also had Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd. He had players that could play that position.
You can run a 1-4-5 with Donald.
Yeah, basically, yeah. There's your D line right there with Donald. But you had that type of player, and we don't have that, and we don't know what we've got in draft choices because guess what? Most of them are hurt, or they get hurt, or they're inactive. Like Roy was inactive again tonight. I mean,
Davenport was inactive. I mean, no, he was active, but he wasn't active.
He was inactive. He just suited up and he played a series play or two, and then he was gone.
So how much is he getting paid?
Too much.
Like $13 million, I think.
Is he a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal?
He's 1-year deal.
He's getting $13 million.
At least Kwesi's smart with that. He only signs questionably beautiful.
You signed him $13 million for 1 year?
Well, I think it's because he's been in the league how many years? I think.
Is that like a veteran minimum?
I think they have to make a certain amount.
You're right, Dave. They wanted to go Fangio style D, but that takes that dominant interior, and we don't have it.
Yeah, there's no Al Noga. There's no Henry Thomas.
There's no Henry Thomas. There's no Keith Millard. There's
no Jerry Ball. There's no
Jerry Ball. Tony Williams, even for that.
Yeah.
You don't have the Williams wall. I mean, come on. You need to go back
Garcia or the Luis Garcia that he had in San Diego.
Right. You need
if Luis Garcia doesn't get hurt, Peterson doesn't get 296.
Oh yeah, they took him out right away.
No, he got hurt.
He got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt.
Sorry, we're talking history again. Oh,
that's all right. So, here,
Yogi. Were you in here earlier when you were here earlier? We started talking about history and who was
Zoe?
Zoe was in here, and Tony said you're going to get this because it was only 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You know,
we
but
all
yeah.
miss.
Oh, we all miss the Williams.
Yeah, we
wall.
all miss him, Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell, I miss Alan Page and Gary Larson and Doug Sutherland. That's how much it's when you think back to what the defenses we've had in the past to what it is now, it's sad. Chris, how far did we fall?
Just like my favorite, I know 80. I know 84 is in my name because of Randy Moss, but Joey Browner is my favorite Viking of all time.
Yeah, and Joey should actually be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he
should be in the Hall of Fame.
He should be in the Vikings Ring of Honor too.
Yeah.
What is the requirement for that? Do you know?
Yeah, you have to be. The Wills have to know who you are. Literally, the Wills have to know who you are.
Well, Joey Browner is at Viking stuff, so they know who he is.
Yeah, but I think the oldest player they've got up there is probably Ahmad, and that's because he's in the media. But you don't. Guess what? You don't have Gary Larson up there. You don't have Ed White up there. You don't have Bobby Bryant. Bobby Bryant is actually he's second, but guess what? He had 51 interceptions all as a Viking. Paul Krause only had 53 as a Viking. His rest were with the Redskins.
Yeah.
You know, so Bobby Bryant should be there, Carl Lee. But
Blair's not up there either, is it?
Blair is up there.
Oh, he is up there? Okay.
Matt Blair and Studwell are up there. Seaman isn't. Jeff Seaman isn't. But yeah, it's with the Wilfs, they don't really know much about. I agree with you, Dave. Ed White should be. They don't really look at the past. They're very much into
maybe they'll watch our show.
Oh, well, put it this way. I actually had the media guide. Believe it or not, I bought the media guide, and for years they would list the top, the 50 greatest Vikings on that list. Well, guess what? There's a name missing from that list. There was only 49. You won't believe who they were missing. They were missing Jim Marshall.
What does Jim Marshall have dirt on the NFL? Because he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not even considered for the Hall of Fame, which I don't understand.
This is what Bob Lertzman told me. The thing that's keeping Jim out of the Hall of Fame is we Viking fans know how great he was and know what he meant to this team. To the national media, he was overshadowed by Carl Eller and Alan Page. And that's really the 4 losses don't help. And him running the wrong way, they still bring that up. But yeah, I mean, that's the only reason. And anybody that played against him, with him, or is from that era believes he should be in the Hall of Fame. Why he's not, I don't know. I really don't. He was the NFL's first true Iron Man. But he's not in there. Good one, Sarah.
Yeah. The Hall of Fame, my biggest issue with the Hall of Fame is that it shouldn't be a team reward.
It's just for individuals.
Right. It should be, you may, just because you were on a sorry team, but if you were the best player that team's ever had, you should be in the Hall of Fame. You shouldn't just because you were on a team that won championships. I think one of the most overrated receivers in history is Michael Irvin.
Yeah, and I agree to say I was not.
Right.
I mean,
why did he get in before Art Monk meant more to the Washington Redskins?
And don't forget, Michael
the Washington,
Irvin,
whatever they're called now, or whatever they're going back to. I don't know.
They're going to stay. They're staying the Commanders.
He meant more to that team than Irvin ever did.
And don't forget, and this is because Jerry Jones helped him do this. Michael Irvin dodged an attempted murder charge when he stabbed his teammate in the neck with scissors over a barber's seat. He stabbed his starting guard, Everett McIver, and he dodged an he dodged an assault charge, and he dodged
cocaine charges.
Yeah, and he beat them too. Yeah. Yep. That was my phone there, Dave. You heard that? Holy crap.
Yeah, we heard it. I'm looking at my phone to see if it's my phone.
Don't go there, Yogi.
You up?
So now that you have
You
a
wrong,
non-dead
Yogi.
phone and you're no longer have the background at work,
Okay.
just go. You give us, just. I know you said you're still fired up. So what has you most fired up? Is it the turnovers? Is it the O line?
Turnovers,
Is the
play
is it not stopping
calling,
the run? What's the
interior offensive line, run
All
defense.
it is officially all of the above,
Yeah.
but
It's-
mostly I'm going to go with where it all starts. The head coach.
Yeah.
The head coach does not have this team prepared. He doesn't have a game plan. He doesn't have a sound game plan at all. He's more confused than the players are, I believe. He panics. He won't run the damn ball. You saw what the Eagles did tonight. You could do it too. Your offensive line works better moving forward instead of backwards. Run the damn ball. Take some pressure off of your franchise quarterback and run plays that work best for him. Bootleg, roll out, play action. What works best to Kirk's? What are his pluses? If you keep his minuses to a minimum, you're okay. But that's coaching. And then defensively, unfortunately, you got a young defense and they get to the ball early and you can tell they're hustling. I mean, they're out there hustling. But guess what? When you are a 3-and-out offense and your defense is on the field 10 minutes in a 15-minute quarter, you're going to tire them out. It doesn't matter. They're going to be tired. You need to sustain some drives to keep that young offense off the field. And a running game is the best friend of offensive football, contrary to what everybody says. Run the damn ball. It's just
what was the time of possession difference?
Oh, great.
at least 30. Well, no,
I mean, there's only 60 minutes in a. There's only 60 minutes in a game.
I'm going to tell you something. The Vikings probably only had the ball 20 minutes in the game.
Yeah. One drive was what? 15. The Eagles had the
one drive
15 plays.
15 plays. The one where they ran the ball.
9 minutes.
Yeah.
And they only got like 44 yards.
Yep.
That is.
Was that the one where they threw the one pass?
Yes. They ran the ball on. That was the scoring drive. They just run the ball.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's crazy.
But why would you? Why would you? Even my wife, she's not fully into football and stuff like that. And she's like, why'd they throw? They're getting so many yards. On the ground.
That's because that's kind of called keeping the defense honest.
You don't have to though. If you're getting 60
you don't have to, but they still do it. And offensive coordinators outthink themselves. Now, if he had got intercepted, he'd have looked like a damn fool. Luckily, Minnesota's already in like run coverage. There's my ride. There's already in run coverage. So what they're doing is they're going to catch the Vikings off guard with play action pass. But you didn't have to throw the ball. You could have just kept running it, like you said.
Yeah, almost 40 minutes, 39-29. I knew Dave would have it.
Oh my God.
You know what tonight looked like though? Do you know middle school football or high school football where you have that one athlete like the running back who's like 6'4", 215, and they're playing like you're like a 6A school and you're playing like the Poor Sisters of the Blind school. It's like a 1A. They play Ironman football, and then you just hand it to the one guy and you just keep running and they can't stop him. That's kind of what it looked like tonight, which is sad.
That sounds like some semi-pro teams I was associated with.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. That NFL team. Yeah, they made Swift look like Adrian Peterson.
Oh, they had Swift out there looking like friggin' he's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Swift got tired. That's why they threw.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the Eagles were down a running back because who was hurt? What's his name? Gainwell.
Yeah,
Gainwell didn't play. He was hurt. And then they still got Boston Scott and then Swift. And then they also got, I forgot who the other running back they had.
Was it Penny?
Yes. And I didn't even know they had Penny, the former Seattle running back. And there he is getting 8 or 9 yards. I'm like, what the hell?
The most frustrating thing was, and I said it on Wednesday, is someone asked, what will it take for the Vikings to win? And I said, for the Eagles to treat the Vikings like the Vikings treated the Buccaneers as an easy win. And that's what they were doing.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for them turnovers, we should have won this game. And that's what's so frustrating. We were in prime position to win this game, and we shot ourselves in the foot.
And you
I
know what?
mean-
Only one of them turnovers you can blame Kirk for, and that was the strip sack.
Yeah.
That was it. Everything else was what did Madison fumble twice?
Yep.
Yeah, but one of them didn't count because of the penalty. But even Herb Street,
Pop,
who's a
Powell
quarterback,
fumbled on a
he
great
even
punt
said-
return.
he even said that you can't blame Kurt for that. He says that he's like 90. He's like nine times out of 10. Any quarterback was going to get strip sack on that. But he did fumble, so you can blame him for it.
Well, and also I'm not going to listen to Herb Street because first of all, he played quarterback at Ohio State. So why would I listen to an Ohio State quarterback?
Yeah, they're not good NFL quarterbacks.
No, and Chicago's finding that out. You know, the next team to find out would probably be what, Houston?
Yeah, Stroud. Yeah, the only turnover though that really hurt them though was the one that gave the Eagles 30-yard field for them to score.
No, they kicked a 61-yard field goal. That was JJ.
Right. Well, no, the
that was the
talking about the short field one.
That was the sack.
Yeah,
that was the sack. But then
Yeah,
they scored off of JJ's turnover too, the 61-yard field goal.
Yeah, which they should have never. I mean, I can understand if they throw down the field and they got those yards, but they ran for less than a minute. You run the ball 5 times and you get in field goal range.
Well, and did you notice whatever the Eagles were doing when that ball was snapped? They pushed that whole defense to one side, and that lane was clear for that running back to get through that lane. And there's only like one Viking there to stop it. That whole defense overplayed.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you guys going? And that's got to be coaching. These guys aren't staying in their lanes. They're not staying at home. They're not reading the plays. They're just kind of like they're all running to the ball, which they're not paying attention. You know, it's frustrating.
I haven't started the draft stuff yet for players, but is there somebody like a Vita Vea or the rookie I can never remember his name, the rookie the Eagles have, the defensive tackle they have?
Oh, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, is there someone like that?
I'm sure there is
in the draft, or is there a free agent? Like, is Vita Vea a free agent?
I'd actually.
That's what
you're going to have to make. You're going to have to make a trade. If you want to start plugging holes, what you're going to have to do is give up some of your draft collateral, which with the way that they have been drafting, I'd be willing to give up if I can get a proven veteran in here. But another thing is too, this team doesn't have a direction. So, I mean, they've got to figure out what they really want to do on defense and on offense. Does KOC keep calling the plays, or does he hand it over to Wes Phillips?
He needs to hand it over.
I believe so. I think so too. Now, does Brian Flores stick around if this year is bad? Does he stick around for another year, or does he bolt? Because I'll tell you what, he could resign, and he would probably, unless he takes a pay cut or he gets fired, he's still on the books for the Vikings. And they're good at that, keeping coaches on the books. So there's all that. There's just so much. And we don't have the money. We don't have the draft collateral. We don't have we don't have the trade to trade players. We're kind of in we're stuck.
We're in Vikings purgatory.
Thank you. We're stuck. We're stuck. We have no collateral. We have nothing, literally. Who right now besides Hunter is even tradable? Maybe JJ. JJ definitely, but they're not going to trade JJ.
So I brought up the schedule. We're 0-2. My original prediction, I forgot how I got to it, was 10-7. How are we looking at the rest of the season?
I had us 11-5.
I said 7-10.
Okay.
I had us 11-5 because I foolishly believed that it's Cousins' second year in the same offense with KOC. The offense has actually looks worse than what it did last year.
Yeah.
So I don't. They'll be lucky.
Honestly, let's give the Vikings credit for something they're good at. They're good at spinning a positive narrative to a bad situation. They're good at putting positive PR on bullshit. They're good at it. But I
got
don't.
that comment real quick from Dave.
Oh, they get an extra draft pick if they keep him for 2 years. That's a big if they keep him. I don't honestly. Next week is going to be one of those games where it'll probably come down to the wire. But the scary part about the Chargers is, I'm just going to say it, Austin Eckler, and you got those 2 edge rushers.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. Oh, by the way, it's a homecoming for Eric Kendricks.
But the Chargers quarterback the Chargers coach is a lot like KOC.
He's a lot like KOC.
He doesn't run.
No, but Eckler's a hell of a receiver out of the backfield. Eckler, if you remember the Dallas game last year, that could be a repeat this year of how Tony Pollard was getting out in the flats. We could have that with Eckler. And Eckler is gonna play his ass off because he wants to get paid.
Right. Well, I don't think the Chargers defense is as good as Dallas. I don't think it's gonna be a 40-9, or 40.
No, but I'll tell you what, Bosa and Max still scare me. Bosa and Max,
especially if Darrisaw is out again.
And that's a big if too. That's a big if. Then we go. Carolina is probably a win.
With their quarterback situation.
Yeah, who's their coach?
Oh gosh. It's not Rule. He got fired.
Rule is in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat know who the coach for the Panthers is now?
I'm sure Dave knows. Or Dave.
Yeah, Dave will know. But that could be a win, even if it's a road game. But that Kansas City game.
Well, that was a loss. But
I had that as a loss too.
If they play, I don't think that
Frank Reich.
Andy Reid's too good of a.
Thank you, Sarah.
Frank Reich's the head coach. Yeah, Andy Reid is too good of a coach for the Chiefs to play as bad as they did against the Lions again.
Right.
And the Lions still barely beat them with the Chiefs playing like they did.
Yeah.
I think they beat. So I think they beat the Chargers as of right now. I haven't seen when Chargers play Sunday. I'll see how they look. Then
they didn't. Chargers didn't look too bad against Miami. They put up 30
but their
points.
defense, though. I mean, I know Tua is a good quarterback, but he ain't that good. You know. So.
I don't.
To me, the difference between Tua and Cousins is Tua can run. I think they throw the same as far as being a quarterback that way. So I think they get the Chargers. So I think they win the next 2.
Now
they lose to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Chicago. That's always a crapshoot when they go to Chicago. But Chicago is awful. They are awful. So I think they get that. And then they lose to San Fran.
I want to make a note with San Fran. This is okay. Last year when we had that scrimmage with the Niners, that was a scrimmage and an oppressor. KOC said they were too intense and too physical. He said that about the Niners.
Right.
Okay, guess what? If you thought that scrimmage you had with the Niners was intense and physical, wait till you play them in a real game on national TV.
Do we have the AI soundbite? We're talking about practice. I mean,
that's going to be bad. That's going to be bad.
And then Green Bay, that's always a crapshoot.
At Green Bay.
At Green Bay.
Yeah.
At Atlanta.
Jordan Love. Everybody's like, oh, Jordan Love. Jordan Love did not look good in that win.
He played the Bears. Settle down, people.
So and then Atlanta. I'm not afraid of Atlanta.
That's a weekend I'll be single because my girl's an Atlanta Falcons fan. So
New Orleans. Who knows what you're going to get with them? Denver. I'm not scared of Denver.
Yeah, you don't know what Derek Carr you're going to get with the Saints.
Exactly.
And you don't know what Russell Wilson you're going to get.
So then Chicago have them, and then Vegas. You don't know what you're going to get with Vegas either. Garoppolo could be the quarterback from the 49ers, or he could be the one from the Patriots that suck. You don't know.
Yeah.
But one thing I do know is that I don't understand this. He does not throw outside the numbers. He always throws in between the if you ever watch a Jimmy G, the All 22, all his throws 5 yards or more down the field are always inside the numbers. He never throws outside the numbers.
I'm going to tell you something though, with a lot of these teams we're playing. I mean,
the quarterbacks of these teams do not scare me.
The quarterbacks don't scare me, but we can't stop the run. So guess what? They got Josh Jacobs.
That's why
Atlanta's got Bijan Robinson. That kid's going to be good.
Yeah, but their offensive line's not good.
Atlanta? It's pretty decent, bro. It's
better than ours, but I mean,
my high school, my old high school's offensive line is better than ours.
Right, and then see Denver's offensive line. I don't think they're good.
We got to go to Cincinnati this year.
Oh, that's a loss.
We don't know what Cincinnati team we're going to get. Burrows is looking human now.
Well, I think that was more of Cleveland's paying for their head coach's job.
Yeah.
And they have a full offseason of Watson. I think once the league gets tape on Watson again, I think that was Watson hasn't really played in 2 years.
I still say we split with the Lions. I still say because the Lions have that tendency where it's just Lion history where they start out strong but they fade fast.
Well, I mean
that's always been their thing.
So me still looking at the schedule, so they have 2 losses now. I still think they're 10 I still think they're at the worst 9-8, 10-7.
I got them at 7-10, maybe 6-11.
But that's if they win the games that I think they're going to win. Those games are 50-50.
We'll put it this way: if they lose next week, there's going to be hell on that Viking team. They're going to have to figure out something because they're 0-3, and depending on what the Packers and the Lions do, they could be falling too far behind. So then they're going to have to figure out. There's going to be
what's the
finger point
Lions in the pack schedule? That's what
Well, the Lions
because they play the AFC West as well.
Yeah, they do. We all do. So the Packers got Atlanta this week,
and
the Lions
is the Packers defense actually the Packers defense that people have been talking about for years, them being good, or is that just because
Detroit's at home to Seattle? I think it's because it's the Bears, but they lost somebody. I think Quay Walker's hurt.
Yeah. I know someone got hurt.
Yeah, Quay Walker got hurt, but the Chicago's just as inept on offense as we are, maybe even more so.
So the Packers should be able to beat Atlanta.
Well, they can't, but it depends on what defense shows up. If the defense from last year or the last couple of years shows up, they can't stop the run, just like we can't.
And Atlanta they're pushing the ball with Bijan Robinson. They've got, matter of fact, they've got the other running back too. They got like 3 running backs.
They got Cordell.
And Cordell was inactive last week.
Yeah. And they got the big tight end.
Pitts. Desmond Ridder is the question mark because I don't know if he'll make it.
A good running, but look at the Vikings. When we had Adrian Peterson, look at the quarterbacks we have. A good running game covers an awful quarterback.
That's true.
I mean, Mike McMahon, Jay Fiedler, Sean Salisbury. I mean,
yeah, it's
I got you, Dave.
Yeah, so it's still a lot of football left, but right now at the early stage, it just doesn't bode well.
I think next week is the swing week. As far as them being I think as long as they have Cousins as a quarterback, they're not going to be a 3 or 4 win team. He's too good for that. I think if they lose next week, they're probably looking, like you said, 6-11. But that's fine because that's what the 12th pick, and with this year's quarterback draft, you can move up a couple spots and still get a halfway decent quarterback.
We have so many holes. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get
do.
anything. I don't think we'll get anything for KJ Sarah.
Yeah, if they're looking at the film from this game, we might get a 7th round pick. You know,
7th round pick and Joey Bag of Donuts.
yeah, exactly. It's only players we can move right now, to be honest, is Daniil. It's the only one I can think of.
Probably no Murphy for like a fifth rounder.
You could
fifth or
move
sixth
Murphy.
rounder because
You would get a
he's still
fifth
young.
rounder. Yeah,
He's
you
still
get a
young.
fifth rounder. But Daniil would net you. He could net you a player for player, a decent guard, or a draft choice. I think Daniil probably nets you a 2, maybe a 3. If you can, but see, here's the thing: we don't know how Quezzy is when it comes to, bargaining and figuring that out.
So the Bears, so it's hard to read this schedule. Let me see. Okay, so the Bears play the Bucks
this weekend. Yeah, they're playing
yes.
the Bucks.
The Lions play Seattle, and the Packers play the Falcons. I think all 3 lose. And then
I don't know. Seattle is susceptible. Seattle.
It depends on what Geno shows up.
Yeah.
And then I think the Bears start 0-3 because they got the Chiefs week 3.
So I think it might be hard to trade Daniil Hunter.
Well, if he's say you go into by the trade deadline, he's leading the league in sacks. You might be able.
Well, now that he has that new contract,
yeah,
it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's only a 1-year deal, so he's going to be a free agent. So if he does sign with anybody, if a team is going to trade for Daniil, they're going to make sure that they resign.
It'd be like extension or something.
Right. It would be an extension, and depending on who they trade him to, I mean, but you got to see what kind of wheeling and dealing that Quezzy can do. Only thing I've seen out of Quezzy is he's easy to get talked into something. He's got to show me that he can wheel and deal himself. I don't know if he can.
And if we were to trade Daniil Hunter right now or this season, it'd be $24 million dead money.
And then you had the 29 that Kirk has.
Yeah,
on top of that.
That's a lot of dead money for this team.
So that's what 29 and 24. So that's what that's. See, was that 50, 55 million
50
dead cap?
55. Yeah, that's a lot of dead money. Ezra, you could trade.
Yeah, you could probably get 4th or 5th.
Ezra's
a 4th.
Ezra's on his rookie deal, also.
Yeah.
So you could trade Ezra. You kind of want to get something now, but it's with this team. If I knew what direction this team was going in, it would be easier to say, well, we can get this or that. But we have no direction. We have no idea. So
do the if this is Cousins, let's just say this is Cousins last year.
Mm-hmm.
With the salary cap that the Vikings are in. And so do they roll? Are they? Because they're going to have a lot. So they can't really sign a bunch of free agents. If let's say they get rid of Hunter, let's say they get rid of Cousins, that's $55 million plus the other dead money. I'm sure they probably got some from Cook. I'm sure they have,
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got Mullins. I think Mullins is 2-year contract. Do they roll with Mullins next year, or do they go with Hall, or do they actually pull the trigger and move up to get a Phoenix? I don't think they have any shot at Caleb Williams. I don't think they have the draft capital to move up far enough to get him. I don't think they have a draft capital to get the 2 pick to get Drake May. Even though the Cardinals are they have they have probably got the first and third pick, and they're an awful organization. So who knows? Maybe Kwesi can fleece them guys. But I mean, those are the top 2 quarterbacks by far and away. So
we also got to see how they finish out their season too. There's always that.
I don't.
There's
like
always
Drake,
going to be. There's.
He's like. He's a baby Cousins. He's a chick.
Where's Drake May play at?
UNC.
Yeah.
Also, I'll see him this weekend because they're playing the Gophers.
But he's mobile. He's more mobile than Cousins, though.
I'm more mobile than Cousins,
Dun,
and I'm 57. That's not saying much. I'm more mobile than Cousins. It's
So PFF has us predicted right now to be the 13th pick.
God. They already got that out, man. Damn, they didn't waste no
Is
time.
that the best? Do they have the Bears worse than us still?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
They got the
They-
Bears
Because
with the 8th pick, and
They got the Packers worse than us.
I heard some people before the season picking the Bears to win the division. I'm like, what are you guys smoking?
Yeah, I heard that a lot too. Yeah, I heard that a lot too. I heard that way too much.
See, the problem is the division. We know the Bears are awful. The Packers are not going to be good with Jordan Love, which I don't think they're going to be.
And the Lions are overrated.
And into the Lions are the Lions. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Put it this way.
I'm 48 years old. I graduated high school in 1993, and the Lions. It's the last time the Lions won a division.
Last time they won a division.
So
Well,
the
put it-
Bears
well-
got 2. Check this out. The Bears got 2 first-round picks,
yeah, they got what's it
so
called?
they could
First
grab
round
another
pick.
quarterback.
They could.
Yeah,
They could. Wait, Poles didn't draft Fields, did he?
yes, it was his first pick.
Ooh,
Fields is only in the second year.
that's
I
right.
think. Yeah,
Is
he's
this
only in the
second?
second year. Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
Why did I think he was in his third? Oh, the quarterback before him was Foles.
Yeah,
Jeez. Yeah, they could draft another quarterback, but that would be.
I don't think they're going to because he's invested.
That would
in
be
Fields.
admitting. That would be admitting Fields isn't going to make it.
Right. And then the Packers are invested in Jordan Love.
Are they though? He's only got 1 year, unless they pick up his
Mhm.
option year. He's got to finish. We'll see how he finishes.
I mean,
up
the
the
light.
year.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Cousins, but he's the best quarterback in the division right now.
Well, and here's the thing with Cousins. Cousins is not going to get the guaranteed money anywhere else that he got
No.
here. So he'll have to and no team will make a deal like that, like the Vikings did. So he's going to have to either bite the bullet, and I hate to say this, maybe sign an extension, because JJ's making noise too that he wants Kirk to be his quarterback.
Is that I saw that, and the guy who said it on Twitter is a reliable source.
Yeah.
But does JJ really like Cousins? I mean, you see him going at it on the sidelines. I mean,
I think he likes Kirk. I think he likes Kirk's better than a rookie.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, this is Fields' third year.
Well, this is
This is his third.
but this is
year.
Poles' third year too, isn't it?
No, it's Poles' second year.
No. Okay, well then Poles has got no attachment to him.
Right, so he could move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could move on.
Because I mean, I can see.
Welcome to the party, Too Evil.
Yeah.
I can see Tennessee maybe taking a quarterback.
Not even Sarah said it was Kurt's fault tonight.
Yeah. Tennessee is going to need a quarterback because I don't think Malik Willis is going to make it.
Oh, he's awful.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think he's going to make it. Did they keep Levis?
He's awful.
Yeah, he's just as bad too. But Tannehill's no better. So, Vrabel, and that's another guy too. He may be on the hot seat himself. They need quarterbacks.
Buccaneers. I could see taking Drake May.
Yeah, Buccaneers would. Yep.
Colts ain't good.
Oh,
Ain't gonna
no,
take
their
a quarterback.
Richardson actually looks good.
Yeah, Richardson might make it if they give him some weapons. You know what though? Colts do have couple of offensive linemen I would look at. Do they still have Nelson, the guard? But he's kind of like
I don't.
their rock of that offensive line.
What do you
Kelly
think about?
is too.
Do you think that's more KOC leadership, or do you think that's because
Leadership is really lacking, and that is it's more on KLC. You've got is two people who are the supposed leaders who really aren't leaders. You know, Kirk's not a rock. I mean, what we've seen on TV and stuff, that's really not Kirk. You know, and with KOC, I think he's too busy trying to be everybody's friend.
can't be a coach and a friend at the same time.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to have some a-hole in him. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to be a jerk. He's just too nice. That's the problem. He's too nice.
I wouldn't say it was moping, but
So in this scenario,
Cousins.
with
That's
the
okay.
13th pick, there's still quarterbacks: Bo Nix,
No,
Penix, Riley Leonard, Jaden Daniels.
You know what? I do like the Texas kid, but I'm not that high on him. Listen, go over to the offensive lineman.
Okay. Boom.
Interior.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but do you really take a guard that high though?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Dang, they don't even have my. What's going on here? They don't even have Cooper BB on here anymore.
Where does he play at?
Kansas State.
Is he a fifth-year senior?
I think so.
What is he, a guard or a center?
Guard. Unless they have him listed as tackle.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, he is. He's got him at tackle.
They got him at tackle.
Is this Pro Football Focus?
PFF, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably they got him at tackle. He's going to be a guard. Put on his numbers real quick. Do you like a profile of him?
Yeah. Let's see here. Where was he? Boom.
That Joel, he's going to be a stud. Didn't his dad played in the NFL? Did he?
Who's that?
The guy from Notre Dame, Alt.
Yeah, and I think is that John Alt's kid or something. John Alt was from Minnesota, as a matter of fact. He's from Columbia Heights.
They won't let me. They won't let me.
You have to pay for it, I think.
Yeah. It might have reset to where you have to repay.
Okay.
But I should have it. Oh well.
Okay, so he's technically a guard.
Yeah, I think. Man,
Yeah.
I watch his tape. I think he.
We talked about this the other day, Tony, you and I.
No, you're right, Dave. They aren't developed. They don't develop offensive linemen anymore. That's the
And they're
sad
soft.
part. And they're soft. That's the sad part. They don't hold their blocks. If you watch tonight's game, Ed Ingram never held his block until the whistle was done. He got off his block right away. Like the play was still going and he's done blocking his guy. It's like, no, you block till the whistle. What are they teaching these guys nowadays?
I always was told you go through the echo of the whistle. Not just the whistle, the echo.
I
of
never
the
heard.
whistle.
I never heard a whistle, which probably explains some of the flags I got.
So my
Hold on.
question is, let's say we have that pick 13, and you can
Okay.
answer this to Sarah and Dave, because I think you guys are the only ones kicking with. Or is two evils in the house?
Two
Yeah,
evils
two
here.
evils here.
Two
What
evils
up,
here.
two evil?
Two evils here. What's up?
Let's say we got the 13th pick.
Okay.
With all those quarterbacks, do you think they will trade back to gather more picks and settle with a quarterback at the late end of round one?
Because
See,
this
I
is an
was-
eight. This is a 2004 slash 1983 slash quarterback draft, supposedly.
I'll tell you what, Yogi, I was all set until you said those two words, trade back.
It's the
And
Viking way.
that is such a Viking thing.
It's like the Mandalorian. It's the Viking
Yeah,
way.
it's the Viking way to trade
Yeah.
back. And well, see, it also depends on what we do in free agency, which I don't think we'll do a lot. You could build your offensive line through free agency if you get the right pieces. And there will be some good quarterbacks in those later rounds, but it depends on how far back we go.
Well, you got all
I
that
mean-
dead money too, so that's gonna
And
limit
on
your
all
free
the dead
agency.
money, the dead money is what's going to kill us. It is.
Because
I mean,
look, you know what? Let me go back to
Dude,
Sharon.
that's the thing, no. That's why an extension with Cousins for one more year isn't a bad thing, because then the cap hit, I think it goes down. The dead money I think goes down.
right.
So that means they may do that, and then, but this is the year they got to get a quarterback.
They can't pass on a quarterback. They can't. But also we got to make sure that Kirk stays upright. Just to make it the next year. So
Yeah, I mean, there's quarterbacks in this draft that I love.
no, Sarah, we're not drafting any more safeties. No,
But no,
we're
that
not
is,
drafting any more safeties.
I think it depends on what they do with Cousins. I think if they re-sign Cousins for one more year, I think they draft a quarterback, but I think they trade back, get more picks to get a quarterback. I think if they don't re-sign Cousins, then I do think they do take a quarterback with their first pick. Now, do they move up? Do they blow a first round pick next year's the draft after that, and their second to move up to one of the top 4 or 5 spots to get
What up, GG Sports?
to get their picks?
Mhm.
I mean, that's the thing is will the Wolves allow them to do that? Because we know the Wolves want to be, at the worst, they want to be 7-10.
Well, here's
You
the
know.
thing now. This is where, because
I gotta
both
let my dogs back in, so I'll be back.
both Quezzy and KOC signed 4-year deals. Guess what? Now they're on the clock. Next year, they'll have one more year left out of a 4-year deal. Not next year, after next year. So they've got to do their thing now. They've got to put something there now.
So
They can't wait.
look what I just did. So I made a trade with the Bengals.
Okay.
I went to pick 30, and I picked up a second round pick.
Oh,
So we're gonna resume the draft. All right.
and
So
Nick's,
let's see what
Nick's
let's
is
see what
there.
quarterbacks are still there at pick 30. We still have Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Quinn Ewers.
I like Ewers. For some reason, I like it.
I like Ewers, Jordan Travis. McCarthy's growing on me.
Yeah, McCarthy is too.
And
Rattler's there.
I love Spencer. Oh,
Wait a minute. Sanders is there.
yep.
yeah, I don't know. I got to see it more from Sanders. I think they're riding momentum right now. I don't think Colorado's as good as they're playing right now.
Sanders could be pro ready, as they say. He's probably he's got that pedigree.
So I don't know if you had gotten back before, Curtis. So what I did, so I traded back with the Bengals. I got a second round pick and their first round pick to move back from 13 to whatever. There's still a lot of good quarterbacks on that list, to where if we were to trade back and pick up an additional second round and pick up 2 interior guards in the or even a guard and a defensive lineman in the second round.
Too evil. Don't put that. Don't put that out there. Don't you? Don't even say that.
Hey, Sarah. He cut off the mullet. He cut off the mullet, Sarah.
Who had the mullet?
Quinn Ewers.
Oh yeah, he did cut it off.
Yeah, but that was an impressive mullet.
He cut he cut it off and he lost weight. So he actually looks pretty good. He looked pretty good against Bama.
All right. So of these quarterbacks,
You know what though? You're gonna have what, 2 second-round picks?
yep.
You can still get a quarterback in the second round.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If they were going to take a quarterback here, it's Penix.
But but we need so many holes. We got so many holes. It's just
All right. Let's see. Okay. So
here's one.
Any-
Check the D line.
Mason Smith from LSU. But I'm not too impressed with him. I don't know why.
You're not impressed with an LSU guy? What's going on?
Well, I was watching I don't know. I don't know if it was because it was just his first game since he's been out because he was hurt.
Okay.
I don't know. He looked tired.
Yeah, Dave's right. Check the edge guys.
Edge.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we're gonna need an edge rusher.
Yep. So we got JT. I'm not even gonna try to butcher his name.
Tamaloa.
All right. Let's see here.
Tamaloa.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. And we're just, hey, folks, for who's watching, we're just going to do some eye test stuff right now. We're not going to break down no film or nothing right now. But we're just, we're just going to check something real quick.
There's still a lot of football left, so anything can happen with these guys, injuries and
Let's
stuff
see
like
here. Boom. I'll check something. Paste. Highlights. All right. Let's go. Stop sharing this one. Stop sharing. Go to this. Present. Share screen. Boom. Boom. Share. All right. Can you guys see that?
that. I can see them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that is Northwestern.
Yeah, that's true.
At least the pursuit's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know who this guy is. And this is where I remember him from, that game. Yep, that's who I remember him from.
He does bat down a lot of freaking ball.
He does. Well, he's basically getting in untouched, too. He's coming off that edge untouched.
Yeah, Penn State's tackles weren't very good.
So, question, he's an edge. So is he – well, he actually would fit a 3-4. He's more of a 3-4 fit than a 4-3. Which, if they stay with this type of defense that the Vikings have, it fits right in.
I could have made the tackle.
Yeah, this is Penn State, huh?
Penn State, gosh, they got the worst uniforms in college football. It looks like they lost their uniforms like in a plane crash, and they had to go to Academy Sports to get new ones.
And you know what? They've had them for how many years? The same ones, not a stripe, not a nothing.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like people say all the time. Well, other teams like have played, like they don't have anything on their helmets. Yes, yeah, but like Ohio State, at least they got stripes on their uniforms, on their pants. Notre Dame, they have their numbers are double blocked, so there's a color behind the number, and they got the ending on the sleeve. So
when is Ohio State going to admit that's a cannabis leaf on their helmet? It's cannabis. That looks like cannabis to me. That leaf. That's cannabis. I don't care
All
what
right,
you
let's
say.
check this other edge. Let's see here. Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. This is Brandon Dorless,
Oregon.
Oregon.
By McGrew in the backfield. They want to empties out. They fake the jet sweep. No go! Great penetration up front. The Ducks led by Jeffrey.
You know what? I'm starting to think Dave is right. Offensive play across the board, offensive line play in football is just bad now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem.
There's certain schools that get all the good offensive linemen, like Notre Dame. They get all the good offensive linemen
Right.
because they run the ball. So, you know,
But
up until this year, Alabama got all the good offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the way offenses are run, the spread, the run option.
Yeah, that whole RPO thing
Yeah.
that coaches now run with is just ridiculous.
And it works better. The RPO works better in college than it does in the NFL because of the hash marks. The hash marks are too close together in the NFL for the RPO to really work.
Exactly. That's why if you're gonna coach in the NFL, you need to just stick with two back set, offset, stuff like that. I mean, they try to make college work in the pros, and it just never does. Never does.
Thank you, Dave. Even if it's a video from YouTube.
Oh yeah, I couldn't hear the sound. Yeah. Is Sarah getting bored? Oh, she said
she's getting sleepy.
Oh. All right.
All right, we'll stop that.
I think the draft talk board, Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Dave, are you thinking? So, my question to Dave is: do you think Kwesi will trade back? If in this scenario we got the 13th pick, let's just go with that scenario. Do you think we're gonna stick and pick, or trade back to get more draft capital?
Oh man, that is true. A lot of high schools are playing 7-man now because declining enrollment too.
Well, that happens. I'm in Texas. There's a lot of 7-man football teams because when you live in the middle of nowhere, Texas, you only have 80 kids in the whole high school.
Yeah, we have 9-man here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They even have 9-man semi-pro league, which is already used to.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he's right. Dave is right. It's just that's just their modus operandi, as they say. Trade back. You know, it's like they're not gonna, but they haven't had much success with it. So
yeah,
you know that's depending on what happens this year. I mean, I don't know if you can get free agents up here. You can't pay them. If you do, you're going to get like the mid-range free agents.
I mean, I know each front office is different, but the Vikings' history of quarterbacks is usually bringing in a free agent, not drafting, especially the first round. Because Dante is really the only quarterback that is drafted in the first round that was halfway decent.
That's why I think they would get
Tarkenton was a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, and didn't start, and he didn't start.
Yeah. So other than Culpepper, you got Ponder.
And Ponder,
I twitch when I say Ponder. I'm sorry.
And Ponder, they forced on us, knowing that he wasn't.
In his defense, if McNabb didn't constantly throw worm burners, maybe he would have sat the full year like he was supposed to.
Yeah, our history of drafting quarterbacks is not the best.
Well, Teddy got injured, so he's a different.
Teddy got hurt, so we don't even know.
Yeah,
but even before
I think he would still be our quarterback, and Zimmer would probably still be our coach.
The one quarterback that was good, besides Tommy Kramer, Wade Wilson was actually good for like an 8th or 9th round quarterback,
Yeah.
but he would get these freak injuries, like he hit his hand on somebody's helmet and he'd be out for the year or stuff like that. But Wilson was a 9th
Ponder didn't win
rounder.
in the playoffs.
Ponder didn't even play in a playoff game. He was hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. Joe Webb started and they lost.
Joe Webb started. They lost to the Packers. Only one to beat the Packers in the playoffs was Culpepper.
God. Now he didn't get hurt. Who knows how good he would have been
Yeah.
again. But yeah, the history of drafting quarterbacks is just
A couple of recent history. There's a couple of areas that give you concern when the Vikings draft. One is quarterback. The other is offensive line. They have not struck gold in either of those. They thought they had with Matt Khalil, and he faded bad, really bad.
hopefully the same thing doesn't happen in Darasol.
Yeah. And then Elfline got hurt. He came back too soon from his injury.
Yeah.
TJ Clemmings was a converted defensive lineman. That wasn't going to work. That was not going to work.
The Beavers.
Oh God, Willie Beavers.
Ryan Cook.
Oh God. Phil Lodeholt was probably the best one deal till he tore his Achilles.
Phil the load hole. That was a big man.
Yep, he tore his Achilles. That ended it. So
they've been pretty good at tackles. It's the guys in the middle.
The interior linemen. They haven't drafted a real good guard since, I hate to say it, Randall McDaniel.
Yeah, because Herrera, they didn't draft him either, did he?
Herrera's a free agent.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, Herrera's a free agent. And yeah, the last one we drafted we drafted both Arizona State guards, McDaniel and Kalis.
Speaking of Ponder, I'm blocked by his wife on Twitter.
You're blocked by his wife?
Samantha Ponder? Yeah, she's pretty much blocked all Vikings fans.
Oh,
I didn't even say anything bad about him. She's like, "Oh, you're a Viking fan. I'm blocking you." It's like, I'm sorry, but your husband sucked. But I said, I'm sorry. I said Ponder was not the best quarterback, but it wasn't his fault. He was forced to start when he shouldn't have won. When he shouldn't have. Oh, and she's like, the minute that I went to respond, she's like, "You have been blocked."
Is she even still at ESPN?
I think she's one of the few that they kept. Yeah.
They kept her?
I think.
Wow. That's not saying much for that network. No wonder I stopped watching it.
I haven't watched. I watch ESPN for the live sports. That's it. I don't watch any other show.
You know what? ESPN's not the same as it was back in the day, and I'm just like, you know what? Forget this. This is a joke.
Oh, the Dan Patrick, Keith Orban Sports Center. That was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tom Jackson, Chris Berman, NFL.
Yep, those were classic.
Yeah.
Now it's just I can't even think about watching.
It's all about the conversation, going after each other's shows.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I mean, we're getting as Viking fans and history and what have you. This year is going to be a tough year for us.
Did you say Vikings history?
It's okay. Zoe's not here.
But to Evil and Sarah, and I thought Dave already knows. I gave Dave the graphics. He's going to help promote the show. But Tuesdays, Tony and I, 5:30 to 6, if we can keep it at an hour. I don't know. It's kind of hard for us. I mean, literally, when we talked on the phone about our show, it was almost a 3-hour conversation.
It was a 3-hour convo.
Yeah. So
3-hour
but
convo.
we're it's called Vintage Talking Minnesota Vikings History with Catch and TB.
Here.
Tuesdays.
We'll play. We'll play.
That's the working title.
Sarah, everybody knows more history than Zoe.
Here's a 35-second intermission.
Oh, cool.
Vikings, let's win this game. Score Vikings on a name. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. Go Vikings, run out the score. You'll hear us yell for more. V-I-K Yes, go Vikings, let's go.
I had to throw Denny Green up on there
That is
because
a
That is great.
That's a
I'm
great
glad
cover.
You did. I'm glad you did because a lot of people forget about Denny.
yeah.
A lot of them do.
well, other than they thought they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Denny,
know what?
if
We
it
got
wasn't for Denny, we wouldn't have the man in the lower left-hand corner, or the right-hand corner
Yep,
of the
Randy
graphic.
Moss.
Yeah,
or the upper right hand corner sitting here talking about
Yeah.
Viking.
exactly. You know the funny thing is, Denny got madder at that Monday night game losing to the Bears in Arizona than he did getting shut out in the championship game to Kerry Collins.
well, I
and the
think he knew
Giants.
that there was some shenanigans going on in that championship game.
And they brought that up. They said that the Giants were stealing signals.
Yeah, they turned the
And-
headsets off,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and
and they proved they didn't deserve to be in the Super Bowl when they got their butt kicked by the Ravens. So.
Oh, I love that. I did. I was a Ravens fan that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
We
Yep.
hate the Cowboys more because of that touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I hate the Cowboys just because of the fact that they're the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys always were they were always on the rules committee. Tex Schramm was. So they worked on every rule that they could that would work their way. And
Yeah.
75 was a good thing, you know. For radios were encrypted. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, just our luck.
Yeah.
If you notice, everything happens after it happens to the Vikings, then they change everything.
The overtime rule where every team gets a possession after the 09
Yeah.
championship game.
Yep. The radio.
Yeah.
And there's others. Trust me, there are others. But yeah, it's and the thing is, a lot of our history will tie into current Vikings talk. It will.
Yeah.
Because you kind of got to know right now this team has no direction compared to years before when you knew what was going on, when you knew what this team was trying to do. This team, just with KOC, they just have it's honestly they look kind of lost. They do in more ways than one.
Hey, people in the chat, what's your guys' thoughts on KOC? Let us know. Give him more time, or is he in the?
So here's the thing: the worst thing that could have happened to KOC was being 13-4.
Yep.
That's the worst thing that could have happened to him.
Yeah, but he's not going to get those calls as a rookie, Sarah.
No, they'll let that rookie get beat up just like Cousins. You know, they call it what do they call it? Tough love. You got
to earn your stripes.
But here's the thing, Sarah. They've changed the rules so much. It's not even football anymore. It's pretty much flag football. And take it from a guy who was a defensive player, loved playing defensive football. Most defensive players now are just out there for props and highlight reels for offense.
Me personally, I think if a quarterback runs out of the pocket,
Open season,
be no sliding rule.
No, open season.
Yeah,
that's a tall task, Sarah.
If you want to run out of the pocket where you're protected, once you leave out of the pocket, there's no sliding.
Put it this way.
See, the running back and the receiver, they can also slide, but the difference is they don't get the same protection when they're open in the field and they slide. You're a quarterback, you run 15 yards, you slide, and a defensive back brushes you just from jumping over you, from not hitting you, they get a flag.
Yeah.
A running back who slides, a receiver who dives, who slides, they don't get that same protection. And I don't understand, just because you're a quarterback.
Well, and here's another thing too. Depending on the quarterback, like a Josh Allen, will try to run you over. That's a problem right there. He's going to get that roughing call all the time, but he's the one putting his head down to meet you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good optics, put it that way. If you're going to have it for one, you got to have it for all of them. And it just depends on it depends on the referee too. And also who is in the ear of the officials for these I'm sure New York tells the referees start calling more penalties.
Yeah.
I've always thought that. So, the days of dominant defenses are over. It's over. You're not the most dominant you'll see is like what we have now with the Niners and a couple of others. But the days of defenses shutting out offenses, you're not. Those days are done. Those days are done. The NFL wants 10-point games if they're going to be, because it's better for viewership and marketing. It's just, unfortunately, the networks have become involved in the game, and it's become more entertainment than what we were used to watching years ago. It's all about the entertainment value.
Hard smacking defenses, man.
Oh yeah, you're not going to see the days of even the Bears, the Ravens, Vikings, Cowboys, those great defenses that you used to see that actually carry teams. Those days are done because of the rules. Exactly, David. They're the faces of the league. And we're going to find out. We're going to find that out because with Rodgers now out, like I said before, with Rodgers out, the NFL and TV are scrambling, and I'm sure many of those Jets games will be flex now because Rodgers is not playing.
Do you think his career is over? I mean,
he should retire.
He should retire.
Achilles injury is a hard injury.
I tore mine playing at the Metrodome. And it took me a good 2 years to come back from it. And even today, I still have problems where it'll be cold or raining and that Achilles tightens up. And he's going to be 40 coming up. Yeah, it's time to hang it up. You have nothing to prove. You've got a ring. You've been an MVP. What do you got to prove? Now you're just playing on
I think
ego.
he just wanted to stick it to Green Bay, but
yeah, just
he seemed happier. I mean, I wouldn't be happy in Green Bay either.
But Sarah, don't say that, please. Sarah, don't say that. No,
Sarah and Too Evil. What?
It's going to be Brett Favre 2.0.
No, please don't say that. But I wouldn't put it past him because his ego wants to get revenge on the Packers. I think, and not even the Packers. I think it's more LaFleur. He wants to get it on. He wants to get revenge on. But no, he hang it up. Move on. Just let it go.
That's interesting, Dave. If that's true.
What's that?
If Rodgers on the next the quarterback show.
Oh God, if that's the case. That's the entertainment. That's the entertainment.
Hey, it could be entertainment with Zach Wilson going. All the other NFL players are going to the club to get a girl their own age. He's like, I want your mom.
Zach will be scouting the lower deck, looking for the hottest MILF he can find. He's going to do that. And who knows? And the Jets might still be competitive with Zach.
Well, their defense is really good.
Yeah.
What do you guys going to Aaron Rodgers' injury?
What's that again?
Going back to the Rodgers injury.
Okay.
This new talk about every field should be natural grass.
Good one, Sarah.
So I mean, their state how much the Vikings could make their field natural, but they would have to install those red light system that the European soccer stadiums have. Well, and that's was it $200 million or something like that?
Yeah, but here's the deal: Phoenix does it every Sunday. They roll in grass.
Yeah, but that's how the stadium was designed, though. It was designed to be outside and then rolled in.
And also with the Viking stadium,
where are they going to put the stadium outside?
You can get sunlight in because you got partially open roof. You can get sunlight, but it's for an outdoor stadium, you should have grass. If
Oh
you
yeah,
got it-
yeah.
if you got it was even in the 70s and 80s when you had the old school artificial turf outdoors. Why?
I'd rather play in the parking lot.
Basically, you were playing in a parking lot. You
Yeah.
just roll down a carpet and there's your lines, and you're in the parking lot. But if you're outdoors, you don't need that. Yeah, the Wills can't afford it. They bought a soccer team, so. But yeah, it's for an outdoor stadium, and now we're seeing it. Yogi, you can attest to this. All the high schools in Minnesota are going to that same type of turf, and you're hearing of kids now that are tearing ligaments and getting ankle injuries, and it's all turf. It's all turf related. So what it is it's kind of like they don't want to do the maintenance to keep the grass up. Yeah, they did. That's right. They did have grass for soccer. But see, MetLife Stadium is going to do that too when they have the World Cup. They're going to put grass down, but they're going to put the artificial turf back on for football.
Why don't they just keep it?
Keep it. Why not?
You coming down?
That could be an NFL thing too.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll
understand
turn the
it.
camera off.
I don't understand it at all. They should be playing you should be playing on a natural surface outdoors. Indoors is up for debate, but like Dave said, you can grow grass in US Bank Stadium because you get sunlight.
A place like New Orleans is going to be hard.
Yeah,
There's
TCO.
no natural light in that place at all.
No. By the way, what I thought they were gonna. Didn't they say at one time they were gonna tear down?
They thought during the hurricane they might have to
Yeah.
tear it down, but they did it, and they just remodeled it again. So
It seems uncharacteristically. It always seemed uncharacteristically dark in there. Is that just me, or is that it?
no,
Does
it's dark
seem,
in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because like I said, I'm in San Antonio. We have the Alamo Dome here,
Mhm.
and I used to live in Bradenton, which is around the Tampa area.
Yeah.
So I've been to Tropicana. Even though Tropicana is a dump,
Mhm.
it's still brighter. It's still brighter, and the Alamo Dome, even though it doesn't have any natural sunlight, by the way it's designed,
Mhm.
there's a lot of windows like on the outside.
Mhm.
There's not around the field itself, so you still get light. There's hardly any windows at all at the Superdome. It's just pretty much an indoor building with no windows.
Yeah, and US Bank Stadium gets a lot of light. It
Yeah.
does. So you could possibly.
Yeah. Another thing about is soccer though. That's not as hard on the field as American football is either.
No, because every play you're digging up, basically,
Yeah.
literally digging up turf.
Well, you don't have 300-pound men in soccer either.
No, but
So
You've never
That-
seen me play soccer.
I don't want to see you play soccer. There's a lot of things I don't want to see, and that's one of them.
No, growing up, my mom had us. I had to been, I don't know, 7, 8, and she signed us up for soccer, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not it. Just running around. Nope, couldn't do it. Could not do it."
Yeah.
I did soccer, but I usually hit a couple of players during the game, which you can't do. So
I had to play soccer because I was too big to play youth football. The weight limit was 155. I'm 176. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do?
you're basically ready for high school.
Oh yeah, when I played, when I was, because I'm 6'2", but when I played, I was 295. So as a tackle, but
Yeah,
not that big anymore, thankfully.
Yeah, and when we especially in high school when we played, the fields were grass, but by the middle, especially in Minnesota, by the middle of the season, the grass is all dug up. It's completely dirt. So
Yes, yeah.
now it's all the new turf.
Yeah, I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, we
I
had
played
that issue.
I played in South Florida, so it's grass. Every field in Florida is grass.
Oh yeah, and in high school in Minnesota, like our seasons end in the season would end in October, but we'd get a frost and we get a ton of rain.
Oh yeah.
So then that field was history.
So you guys start high school football in what, June, July? To get to 10 games in? You have to start that early, don't you?
How many games do they play now, Yogi?
Hold
About
on.
8? Maybe 8?
Yeah, not that many. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Sarah.
Let's see here.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Try to pull up the schedule. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we went to the playoffs a lot when I played. So we were like our playoff games. We couldn't go out of town for Thanksgiving because we were still playing.
See, our season for here, Thanksgiving is when we have our championships. That's when we have our like prep bowl.
Yeah.
And that's usually when they have it is Thanksgiving weekend.
one,
Our
two,
All-Star
three,
game was a
four,
week
five,
before
6,
Christmas.
7,
It was
8.
the season after the championship game, the week after the championship games.
Mhm.
So after Christmas, the week before Christmas, before we left for school break for Christmas, it was last
Right.
Friday.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
for like Cooper, 8 regular season games starting August 31st, going through
So they only play 8.
October
Mm-hmm.
18th.
There's usually only like the way they've separated the conferences now, the schools, there's usually like 8 in a conference, 8 schools in a conference, 8 or 9. And so, yeah, you play 8 and take it from there. I think everybody makes the playoffs though. Is that right, Yogi?
Well, I'm not sure if everybody does.
Yeah. I think everybody gets like
Seriously? Everybody makes the playoffs?
I think everybody gets a participation.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know how it works now. I've been so far removed from that till it's not even funny. God, it's been years.
Yeah, so let me see.
That, you know what? That's us, Dave. That's what would happen here. Yeah, frozen mud is worse. It's way worse.
Yeah, see, right now my school, where I went, they are scheduled. They've already played 4. They played 5 games already, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4.
You guys have played more than the colleges.
They got 6 games left, so they play 11 games.
11 games. Wow. Yeah, you played more than the colleges.
And they already have more losses this year than I had the whole time I played there. Yeah, it's like back when I went there, it was a huge school. Like we had 4,500 kids at our school, and so, but they built like 3 other high schools, so
they took those numbers.
Yeah. Like our basketball team was, all our sports team were good. Now, yeah, but
Middle of the road at best.
yeah. So that's the thing about living in Florida. You have all year to do the.
See, Minnesota is more, as far as football goes, this is always going to be Vikings country. It used to be Gophers country, Golden Gophers country.
Back in the 60s, because they went on the
60s,
50s and 60s. Because people don't know this, but Minnesota, I think, is what are they, 8th all time?
Yeah, 8th all time. Yep, 8th. The University of Minnesota, 8th all time, and they've had the Hall of Famers in the NFL that played at the U. But then when the Vikings took that over. So Minnesota's always been a hockey state. Always been a hockey state. And it's kind of slowly now becoming a basketball state. So it's so it's kind of the winter sports, because it's cold up here for so long, the basketball and hockey are to get a lot of
not good though.
Well, we know that, but but for you,
I'm not a Timberwolves. I'm sorry, that's the only Minnesota team I don't cheer for. So
well, and the Wolves are their own worst enemy. But it's like we didn't have basketball for so long, and we're watching the Lakers
that's
still
the
winning
reason
titles. Why. Yeah, I mean they've rumored the Wolves moving to Seattle.
Well, Target Center's a dump though.
Yeah, I like it better for concerts. I don't care. I don't care for it for. I've seen wrestling matches there and concerts. I've never seen the Timberwolves. I've never saw a Timberwolves game. So, but I mean, if it's just for like stuff like that, it's fine. But
Yeah.
It ain't Excel. Put it that way.
No.
It's
No.
not Excel.
Okay. Well, it is. Wow, almost 1:30. All right. So let's do final thoughts. I don't know what's going on in my light. Why all of a sudden it's ball. Ooh. But so what's so what
Less
do you think?
turnovers.
What do you think that we need to do? A, to beat next week for the Chargers and for the rest of the season. Obviously turnovers. But what else? Because I don't think KOC is giving up the play calling.
Yeah, and that could be our downfall. That could be a problem.
So
Get tougher. Stop being so damn
but how do you
soft.
do that though?
It starts with the coach, and he just doesn't have it. The defense, though, the defense is showing some aggression.
Well, it's because they got B-flow.
Right, but they're showing some aggression. The offense needs to start showing some aggression too, and it usually starts with run blocking. But we're just so I'm just gonna say it, blase blah on offense. That he won't run the ball, and now that he can't run the ball, he won't even try to run the ball, which is a problem. He's just gonna have to look in the mirror, and that's on KOC. That's on KOC.
Do you think he'll self-reflect and self-scout himself?
I would hope so. I would hope he's smart enough to maybe look at the big picture and be like, okay, maybe I should give up the play calling. Maybe I should step back and look at the rest of the team. He's got a lot of holes that he needs to fix ASAP if he wants to try and salvage the season. But we don't know because we don't know what direction this team's going in.
I mean, some of the signings, they haven't even used. So the guys that they signed, like what's up with Gaskin? He can't be worse than what Madison's playing so far. And I love Alexander Madison. I hate to say that, but he can't be worse than what Madison's done.
No.
I mean, I don't think CJ Ham was on the field as much tonight, so that was a plus. No tight end screens tonight, though. That's a good point. Whatever happened to the Z middle screen?
Well, it works if you got a good offensive line.
I mean,
it works if you got.
But the tight end screen doesn't. The tight end screen is just the same thing.
It works if you got offensive linemen that can pull. That I mean, I don't know what it. I don't. That's the whole thing. What are they working with this offensive line? What kind of scheme are they running? That these guys look lost at times.
Right, because with Kubiak they ran the zone blocking scheme.
Yes.
What is the blocking scheme now?
We don't know. we literally don't know. They've never. I mean, Yogi, you played offensive line. What does it look like to you? It looks like confusion to me.
Yeah. Trash.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of confusion. These guys really don't know. And that could be on the offense. That's got to be on KOC. That's his offense. So he needs to.
Definitely not what the Rams run.
No. And maybe our offensive tackles need to start jumping the gun now because nobody's getting called for it. So, but yeah, it's.
I feel sorry for O'Neal because at least Darisaw, and that's probably why Quisenberry and Udo didn't look worse than what they should have because Ezra has been balling this year so far, these first two games.
Well, and
O'Neal has got to cover his guy plus Ingram. So I feel sorry for O'Neal. And we don't need a superstar guard. We just need a guy who's not going to mess up.
Yeah, and we don't have that.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's and even when your starter goes down, you're in worse trouble with the backup.
That didn't happen with us.
It's like I'm sure Darrisaw will play next week.
Well, I think if he played, my guess is his ankle just flared up.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't have played at all, but he probably said I'm going to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should, with the long week, he should be fine.
And what I've noticed with a lot of our linemen, it's their footwork. Have you noticed that, guys? It's their footwork. It's not the best. That's how Udo got hurt. He crossed up his feet. Literally crossed up his feet. And Ingram's has really bad footwork. He's regressed.
It don't look like the mid zone to me, Dave. It's a what else can I say?
Mid zone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new one.
I'm about to head to bed.
Yeah.
I got to get going here too. We hit the
3-hour mark. That's I think there's a record for, but
that's our average.
Yeah, for you and I.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think we're going to be able to do that show in an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But, okay, so final. We got to stop with the Minnesota goodbye. Final thoughts. The good, the bad. Is there someone you were happy with? Someone that you were bad? Someone that you were disappointed in?
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. You've lost the last 2 weeks. Put them in the rearview mirror. Get ready for next week against the Chargers and get a much needed W. You need this W now. This is a must win. That's it.
Vikings are going to beat Chargers.
I agree.
I ain't saying nothing till after the game.
All right. With that, everybody, Skull Vikings Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tap in.
Sarah.
I
love you, Sarah.
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you. I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you.